Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Today, a very special day we've watched all season long, and it is now time to crown our Collegiate All-Genji champion here in the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We've been watching all season as these teams have battled it out to see who is the superior ninja, and tonight we will find out what team that is going to be. I am Michael Fisher, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd to call all of your championship action. Brenner, we have seen some crazy things. We had 12-man Dragon Strike crashing the server. We had I Need Healing spam crashing the server. You never know what's going to happen. And tonight, we crown a Genji champion, and one of these players is going to go on to a professional Chinese contract for an all-Genji team. There's a lot on the line tonight, Brenner. What are you most excited for, though? The healing spam, the Dragon Strikes, or somebody with an all-expense-paid trip to China for their own professional tryout?
I really want to see a Power Ranger team come out of this. We've seen these guys pull off the impossible and crash these servers. Next thing, I just want to see the Power Rangers versus a team of Illidan's. This is what we need from these Genjis. They got the best skins in the game, so let's see if they can do it.
This has been a very trying season for some of these players. We had a lot of Genji mains burn out, one from the lack of healing available to the team, and two, when they locked in Genji, no one else locked in Ana, and they just immediately alt forward. We've had a lot of rage quits this season. It's just these Genji mains have not been able to handle it. But the teams that have lasted are here, and we're going to have our championship just around the corner, and I cannot wait to see who will be crowned the champion of the superior DPS, someone you should always be locking in. And, of course, then in this tournament, you've always got to lock in Genji. So, Brenner, what are we watching out for in terms of, Dragon Strike usage? Because you can't deflect the Dragon Strike, so you got to be careful as we take a look at some of our rules.
It's all about the wall climbing here. You got to try to evade the best you can. You got to hit in the shift, dashing through people, try to get those kill resets, especially with the Dragon Strike, because you can only be such a good weeb in this matchup.
You see, here are the rules. If you are just joining us for the championship, it has been a crazy regular season. It's all Genji best of three in a 6v6. We like Volskaya, Route 66, Rialto, Anubis, and Pears are perma-banned, which, they're basically perma-banned. Anyway, Ilios selected by all teams. We've extended the length of the match. Flaming in chat is allowed, because are you really playing Genji if you're not screaming at your team with your keyboard waiting for Dragon Strike to come off? Cooldown, Overwatch League settings, open skin settings. You talked about the Power Rangers. Would love to see some Illidan's as well running out, yelling, "You are not prepared." Limited cooldowns based on seeding and some physics change. Is it all just insane? And I cannot wait to check this one out. Our championships are here. These guys have been battling for so long. We didn't even mention there is a professional Chinese contract available for one of these players. The player of the game, I've been told, will pick up the Chinese contract. So this is going to be a good one. Of course, we followed Boise State this whole season. They have been immaculate with their uses of the Dragon Strikes. We've seen some fake Dragon Strikes. We've seen self-suicides off the edge to bait the enemy team, because every Genji wants to get every kill, and they're taking on the Mud Dogs of Southeast Louisiana. Doc's keys to the game: understand your comp, focus on each fight, call out your target, make sure you say which Genji you're going after, and slash and dash. It's all brought to you by Count, whose Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables a personalized customer experience for the 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. And Brenner, we're finally here, and I'm ready to crown a champion. What do you have to say as we start to lead in to this championship match?
I have to say, I really hope we see the best MVP go to Genji.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really a huge upset. We've seen some incredible plays by Hanzo, our resident best Genji player. We've seen all tournament really trying to maybe prove something. He never uses ult. He's always throwing shurikens. It's like he prefers to be at range. I have no idea why you would ever want to do that when you have a samurai sword in hand. But Hanzo is a player you're going to want to watch out for if he made the championship, because we've had quite the upsets as well. Cannot wait to see how our bracket also turned out so everyone can get on the same page. It is the Collegiate All-Genji Championships here from the Game Pants Esports Arena, and what a season it has been, and what a championship it will be. And if you aren't ready for this, it is high-paced action. There's a lot of lack of healing. And Brenner, I mean, we've talked a lot about the alt usage. We talked a lot about, what players we're going to watch out for. We've talked a lot about the skins, too. I mean, what do you think is going to be the determining factor in our championship? Do you think it's going to be the skin play? Do you think it's going to be whoever's keyboard maybe breaks a key so they actually have to play the game instead of rage typing at their teammates? I mean, what are we looking for here? You're our expert as we get ready to go in the championship.
I definitely think it comes down to who's right-clicking and who's left-clicking. Who's going to be able to hit those long-range triple hits, and who's going to be able to just right-click and spam the hell out of it. Because we don't have the McCree, we don't have Fan the Hammer, but we have Fan the Shuriken. They're just going to hold right-click and throw as many as we can as we jump right into this. We're seeing so many dashes come right off the bat as Joe gets a double kill, and then a 5-man already with Rezo being the last one on the Boise team. He's able to get one more, but Goblin finishing it out. Already, we're up to an explosive opener in this All-Genji League.
We've talked about it all season long. Now that dashes first wins the fight. The blue team proving that to be the case. Not a lot of ults very close, though, so we'll see what the red team has in store. Nice little wall climb there, trying for the back flank for South Central Louisiana. As the Mud Dogs look for the upset. Kell able to take down Hawkins. Huge there. Guacaplato going to get a pair more in South Central Louisiana. Says that was just a fluke. 3 straight kills. Can they take down Joe? Yes, they can. And that's a great response.
These dashes are going to be the game changer. Getting those kill resets, allowing to dash once again, and all diving in on the same Genji is going to be key here. Definitely keeping an eye out on some of these players as they're reaching their peak Dragon Strike potential.
Tilt has been contained. No I need healing spam yet, but a large bagel could probably use some. Nice deflect there from Guac as a large bagel's able to pick one up. Now we're trading back and forth, but 2 members are down. Now make it 4 for the blue team. South Central Louisiana has come alive, and they're getting ready for that legendary 6-man Dragon Strike that no team and few servers have been able to handle so far in the regular season.
Yeah, that's when we see the mass team suicide that crashed the server last game. That's what we want to see a possible repeat of, because that gives us more time to talk about these Genjis.
South Central Louisiana might have the superior hydration. Their water boy is Stuff of Legend. I know he's on scholarship for the remainder of his time in school as Jaybird picks one up onto a large bagel. Kietsu's able to get another one. South Central Louisiana with a great response after Boise State had started taking it to him there a little bit.
Yeah, we're seeing the wall climbing come out real quick, but we immediately jump back to Kell, who just gets taken down in the back as Jaybird gets an immediate reset for his strike. South Central Louisiana doing very well, just targeting down a single Genji on the Boise State team and dashing through him, allowing to just going from one team to the next as they just passed 2/3 on their timer.
South Central Louisiana is going to have to win this fight. Looks like we did get a Green Power Ranger skin there for a moment, Brenner, so I know you will be happy.
Shout out to that player.
We'll have to see who that is. Looks like it might be Alias there up on the top as Kell gets the first elimination. He's got the Dragon Strike available. Is he holding it for the team? Looks like he might be. Alias has his as well, Goblin, and now we're getting closer. Hopefully the servers are ready. Thankfully, Hawkins struggling there at 70% might prevent us from the 12-man Dragon Strike.
We also just had a team wipe, so that means the Boise State team's going to get their Dragon Strikes first as long as they keep hitting these Shurikens. And if we get that 6-man Dragon Strike, I'm curious if we're also going to see the team-wide suicide. Here comes the very first Dragon Strike of the game, and an immediate follow-up by Kell.
We get one. There we go. 3 in a row for the Dragon Strike. A pair pop for Boise State. Unfortunately, Kell will go down with his Dragon Strike. A large bagel going to keep it up. Fans love when we're able to chain the Genji screaming as long as possible. The large bagel should be able to defend this. We're going to go to overtime, and ooh, no one on the point. Probably all looking for healing. We've seen that time and time again in this league, and Boise State picks up the first match.
Boise State played those Dragon Strikes. They had them faster than the enemy team, and they just held on to it. Who knew Genji was such an anchor in this game?
We have seen some phenomenal Genji play when there is really no stun or CC to stop the Dragon Strike. These players have unlocked their true potential that they rarely find in the more tame and slowly dying in popularity ranked Blizzard play, as All-Genji has taken over the professional scene, especially in China, where one of these players will be heading on a full professional contract. And that's going to put a lot of pressure. I would not be shocked, Brenner, if we see some solo plays here. Because we mentioned the ICCU player of the game will be presented with a professional Chinese contract after this championship.
Any player you think it's going to go to right off the bat after that first Boise State win?
Ooh, I like Kell, but a large bagel says, you know what, I want to go to China. He gets a triple kill. Oh, he's looking for one more. Can he get it on the back? He needs to steal it away, but Asu prevents that. Large Bagel might be the runner and the leader in the clubhouse. Now we'll have to see how his play, though, goes on the rest of this map, because he's capping the point, which is negative points in the Genji League. You do not want to help your team. You should be going for kills.
As all Genjis know, it's all about the solo kills. It's all about diving away from your team and taking them all on. So we see one member of Boise State actually doing right off the bat as all 6 of the South Central was coming out of their spawn. And we do see Plato able to get a double kill off in that side room by himself, corner camping that health pack as traditional Genji stat is. We see a lot of a quick double exchange as Rezo gets a triple right off the bat. Rezo contesting for that China scholarship.
Yeah, if you 1v6, even if you die, that is bonus points. And that is what Genji is all about. It's about making the flashes play. Even if your team loses, if you get play of the game, that is bonus points. So pressure on the South Central Louisiana players to have a pop-off moment here. Looking for an engage. I like Jay Bird running over by himself. Now will rejoin his team. Does take down a large bagel. Kell looking for the deflect. Dashes in behind the enemy lines. And Vasey's able to take down Goblin. Nice job by Rezo, camping that health pack. Very smart play there. The rest of his team will be taken out, but he does not care as Jay Bird's the last one left. He's got to win this 1v1. This means a ton. Oh, he's just going to run away.
Down to the 1 HP, but gets taken out by Rezo.
Very unfortunate.
State really camping those health packs, really playing the Genji League the best they can, taking on these 1v1 fights.
Nice double dash away. Looking for a back flank here from maybe a large bagel or Kell to keep up their hot streak. Even maybe Gobliner. Had a couple of moments here as we see Getsu there over by himself. Dragon Strike will be popped by Plato. Doesn't even need it for a kill. He's barely hanging on. Getsu gets one, but Boise State's just proving to be too strong here. Camping the spawn perfectly, and Plato right over to that health pack. That's why he's on fire.
It's amazing this Genji League has gone on as long as it has, with this Boise State team just wiping the floor with South Central, constantly getting Dragon Strikes before South Central didn't even get on point after they lost that first fight.
Bonus points to them, though, for not going on to the point. Here is how the bracket shaped out in this Collegiate All-Genji Championship. Boise State, right now, I mean, I am shocked as anyone that no one else has tried to ban Genji away from Boise State and force them onto Genji instead, because the Broncos are just way too strong in their current form with this Genji play.
Yeah, those Genjis were wild. They were hitting the right clicks. They were hitting the shift. They were just tearing through South Central. Maybe the Genji ban was it. They just needed to take away I need healing and start in with the hellos.
Yeah, we did not see as much spam as I was hoping for from either team. That is something that we hope picks up in the next game, as there is bonus points for flaming your team or the enemy team in chat. Really, GG easy is always a preferred one for a lot of players. I mean, unfortunately, we cannot hear the comms. Here we go. Here is the correct bracket, as one of these teams will be playing UC Sunnydale in the championship. And Boise State looks like a force to be reckoned with right now. Was hoping for a matchup between the Broncos and Blue Mountain State. Unfortunately, a bit of an upset by Hillman College earlier. One of our games where we had players disconnecting because they were not receiving enough healing from Blue Mountain State led to that upset. So Boise State, now maybe the favorite. We'll see what they could do against UC Sunnydale.
Yeah, and that Boise State game versus those Barton Bellas was a really hard-hitting match. You know, they were spamming the chat as much as they could, trying to talk it out since they could not sing in the match as Genjis. But they were spamming those I need healings and those custom voice lines. You gotta love it. But Boise State was able to just not stay on the point whatsoever and win that game.
Yeah, we did actually in our Sunnydale and Harmon Tech matchup, one of those where the judges came in and actually gave the victory to Sunnydale in very controversial fashion, because the judge said that by Sunnydale never capping a point and never moving a cart, they were actually the better Genji team than Harmon Tech, who played the objective normally. So Sunnydale, a bit of a controversial figure in this All-Genji League, but they are in the championship, so we do not care about that anymore. They'll be taking on Boise State. We've already mentioned the professional contract on the line for one of these players here in this championship. We saw what Boise State has to offer. We know UC Sunnydale has some very talented teams as well, Brenner. So I'll be very curious who's able to pick up this coveted pro contract for the growing and ever popular All-Genji League, where kills are at a priority and not team play.
Yeah, I would definitely keep an eye on the two support Genjis we see on our Boise State team of Asu and a large bagel. They're able to camp those health packs better than any Genji and never die. They even get their ults pretty quick just by spamming the left click and picking up those health packs. Those are really getting them those bonus points towards that scholarship. Yeah,
the tank line for UC Sunnydale, though, those Genjis like to go in 1v6, though, so you can never count them out from absolutely dying. and distracting you from the rest of the team, also dying on the background, but getting you those bonus points for 1v6ing. So the tank line versus the support line of Sunnydale versus Boise State, something you're going to want to watch out for here in this Collegiate All-Genji match. Well, we are going to take a short break. We're going to be right back. Who will be the champion? Who's going to China? You find out next. We see who is the best Genji player. Welcome back in to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are just mere 30-minute action-packed moments away from crowning an All-Genji champion between Boise State and UC Sunnydale and sending one of these players immediately in an all-expenses paid trip over to China for the blossoming All-Genji Professional League on a professional contract, which will be a very, very exciting feat to watch. Fish and Brenner here calling all your acts. We saw Boise State dominate Central Louisiana in our semifinal game. Now the Broncos will take on UC Sunnydale here, and this Bronco team, as we mentioned, the support lineup for them with Asu and a large bagel, camping those health packs, making sure no one is able to get any healing from the enemy team. A huge, huge reason why they are probably minor favorites going into this championship match.
Yeah, no one really likes the damage Genji trying to help his team and secure those kills that we see from Goblin and Plato. We really want to look at that tank line and that support line. Those are going to be the key plays we see there, absolutely staying away from the point and diving their spawn as quickly as possible. Yeah, I really hope that we do get a chat enabled for the next game, because the Flame, when, is available to see, because a lot of Genjis are just kind of slamming their fists on the keyboard while trying to right-click. So when it is readable, it is legendary, and that's something that we'll definitely want to be keeping our eye on here in the championship between these two very talented all-collegiate Genji squads. Boise State coming out of the West as the #1 seed. UC Sunnydale, a very, very last-minute heroic six-man Dragon Strike that crashed the enemy team's server, got them into the playoffs, and they've had a very controversial ride, advancing on a judge's decision in our round of 8. But they're going to be taking on Boise State here. One of these teams will be the best in the country, and we will see here to take a look at Boise State. We saw them, start a bit slow, but once that tank line of Guak and Kel really figured out how to not be on the point and dash in 1v6, they really started to get things going. Yeah, and it really helped having that back support line camping those health packs, so no one in this game could hit any healing, because we all know that's what they're flaming each other for. So Asu and Large Bagel really bringing their teams to maximum flamage. Really got to respect them for. Boise State is on their peak Genji plays tonight. Yeah, I've also been informed that Plato right now might be a man to watch. He did pull off a 1v2. Not the greatest we've seen, but it is something that will go down in his YouTube highlight reel of 10 views of him 1v2ing on Genji, set to probably some Linkin Park in the background. Let the bodies hit the floor is a favorite for some of these players, so you might want to check that one out when this all wraps up. But it is the Collegiate All-Genji League Championship. It's Boise State, it's UC Sunnydale. One of these teams is going to be crowned champion, and we will find out momentarily as we do get Doc's keys to the game. Understand your comp and play style. Make sure you know which support is camping that health pack.
focus on each fight, call targets out. Genji is usually the go-to word, and then slash and dash. We maybe thought Central Louisiana would slash and dash a bit better, but Boise State proved to be more superior in those other ones, especially understanding who was camping the health pack. It's all brought to you by Count, whose Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables a personalized customer experience for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. If you want to stay safe online and away from all the Genjis, make sure you go to count.com. But we are not staying away. We are diving head first in, yelling at our supports for not backing it up. It's the championship. It is game number 1 here between UC Sunnydale and Boise State.
Yeah, and some people say this All-Genji League was the inspiration for the You Should Have Played Mercy song. So, you know what? You should have played Genji.
Does look like Boise State has opted in for a couple of backups here in the championship. A risky maneuver is tried too hard, a little bit rusty off the bench, just get taken out. But Bastion Main letting everybody know that he would dominate them with the deflect. Absolutely racking up shop there. Hammond Main trying to answer back as these players absolutely despise easy free win champions. They prefer the skill and the intricacy of Genji, letting each other know who they absolutely despise as Bastion Main picks up a couple more. And Boise State trading 1 for 1 here.
Yeah, one thing we have yet to see in any of these games, surprisingly, is a deflect kill. You think as one of Genji's main skills they'd be using it, but already with UC Sunnydale getting on the point, things aren't looking too good for that China scholarship.
Unfortunately, deflecting is frowned upon by most players at a high level. No Genji allowed to play defensive here. Great job by Kel dashing in, takes down Hammond Main, puts up the deflect. Of course, no one will shoot at that because they do not respect you when you play defensively on the Genji. As Maskell trying to get a kill here, looking for one more onto what? Can he find it? He will with some assist from Goblin. Boise State will put the point right back, and Dragon Strike's just a few fights away.
Yeah, we really got to like these Boise State players as they are completely avoiding the point. You don't need anyone on there because that's how you know you're a Genji main. As we do see Hammer Main now get a double kill onto both Bastion and Kel. We're seeing a lot of melees and a lot of right clicks, what you love to see, but we're seeing too much team fighting. We need more one-on-ones here.
Oh, nice snipe from a large bagel. Looks like UC Sunnydale will be able to flip the point back. We do see these players distributing their excellent flying skills. Over on that corner, ooh, a large bagel. He camps the health pack perfectly. Looking for an elimination, not able to find one. He'll go dashing in. Ooh, his teammate will take the kill. He's got to be tilted about that and screaming in voice comms right now. He will barely stay alive, dashes in, but does get taken out as they're battling over that health pack on the back side of the map.
Yeah, we did see Makesell get a quick double kill with Kel finishing off the other member of UC Sunnydale. Boise State getting real close to having 2 Dragon Strikes on their end.
Oh, nice.
We're going to see if they're going to pop them all together or they're going to win those 1v2 situations. Because as a Genji, you always want to have the odds against you.
I mean, their ult has been, they've told their team their ult has been online since the moment this match has started. They'll trade out there. Slurnt able to get a second one, but Bastion Main has popped the Dragon Strike, able to pick up 1 kill onto Slurnt. Is it going to be enough? Doesn't look like it is, but he is going up on low health. That is a bonus as well. That has been clipped and submitted to his YouTube channel. We'll make sure we want to keep out for that as Maxwell, gets one. They're camping around that health pack. I like that play. Looking for a final kill, not able to find it, but he does retreat back to the health pack before taking down what?
Once again, this Boise State team making a lot of good plays as Try to Hard and Goblin immediately win those 1v1s. Slurt losing that Dragon Strike, even though he's had it this entire game. A large bagel and Hammond Main both get the Dragons online. Hammond pops his at the low health as well. Still not dead yet. What is able to pick up one? Hammond Main picks up one with his Dragon Strike. A lot of good things coming out of these Genjis right now, and the Golden Shurikens required to even be in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely, you have to make sure that you have at least 80% comp play rate on Genji to qualify, and as you mentioned, Brenner, the Golden Samurai swords are almost required. We do see a couple of Dragon Strikes are going to come out there. Ooh, a disrespectful parry. Bastion Main will go down. We'll see if that impacts him, trying to parry a Dragon Strike. We see 4 straight in the kill feed there. We're all camping over this back health pack. It has been the most popular item. If that was the objective, this game would already be over, Brennan.
Shout out to Asu right away. We get the self-sacrifice after a dash onto what? That's going to be bonus points for what? Sacrificing his life and getting the other Genji to self-sacrifice. Both these players already looking so good in this showing.
Ooh, Goblin's trying to find one, gets picked out from behind. Boy State looking to go up one here. UC Sunnydale, no ults online. They're going to have to do something impossible. What's taken out? It's up to Orisato here. He comes dashing in. Respectful maneuver, but immediately taken down by Kel. And Boise State should pick up this first map with relative ease. That health pack right by the point definitely made this map go a lot faster. You've seen maps in this series go 15 hours before Brenner when neither team recognized there was a point to capture as they were fighting over a health pack.
Yeah, some of these players have to get points knocked off because they're capping the point right off the bat. Something you never want to see in this collegiate league.
No, we yearn for the legendary teams that we have seen in the past, who have just never left the enemy spawn, waiting for those kills, bragging about their kill-death ratio in the chat, despite the map being over long ago. They'll even pop up in Twitch chat from time to time to remind us that despite their superior KDs, it was their team's fault that they lost. And we'll see here on Mecha Base what these two have in store. No health pack near the point could be concerning, Brenner. We might be here for a while.
Yeah, and especially since these Genjis are so good at typing and flaming each other, they can be in this game playing and flaming in Twitch chat. So bonus points to any Genji that is able to do that, as we do see a quick exchange from both sides, losing 2 members, but no Dragon Strike online, even though they're saying they have it.
Yeah, the ultimate is almost online, being spammed, I'm sure, as soon as the gates open. Is with the point open, we do like to see this for both these teams. No one really going for the point. Does look like a pair of Genjis from UC Sunnydale have opted to try and bring the fighting down as the dashing goes out all around. Goblin's got to be careful, looking for the forced self-suicide onto what, not able to get it. And now these Genjis have walked away from the point once again, understanding that the main goal here is to brag about your total eliminations and who has gold.
It's all about those gold shurikens, because we know if you have them, you can't be in this tournament.
And here, make sure you brag about your damage done medals as well. If you brag about objective time, you will be perma-muted on the server. We do not care about your objective time. We only care about damage, as unfortunately UC Sunnydale giving up a lot of damage. No one has captured the point yet. Boise State might be forced to here, as all the fighting is taking place right on top of the point. But respawn's coming out from UC Sunnydale. Slurp gets taken out. Nice double dash there from Goblin off the reset, looking for a third one. Able to get it. Looking for one more kill, and Goblin with that perfect kill steal, really putting himself in a favorable position.
Yeah, these DPS players definitely know how to play Genji, but once again, like we mentioned in the past, the support, the tank Genjis are what you love to see, as Asu gets a melee suicide onto Hammond main. This support Genji really coming clutch for his team.
We've also seen some excellent health pack camping here as Asu's looking for another one. Unfortunately, will get stolen away by Kel, but he does check the health pack, see that it's not spawned yet. Should have probably camped over there to make sure. Ooh, Orisato didn't even see him. Let's wall climb up. Needs to retreat to that health pack, though. That is a very careless mistake, not standing on top of the health pack for Asu.
Yeah, especially as that's the support main, you got to keep your eyes on that timer, because if any of your teammates get it, you're losing points for that. If it's not yours, how dare.
Boise State has captured the objective. I'm not sure they even know that yet, as they have really not fought over it too often. As Asu's able to pick up 2 more. Bastion Man gets one. We've got our first Dragon Strike of the game, though, from what? He's able to take down 1, make it 2. Can he find a third one in a 1v3? Unfortunately, no. He'll get sniped in the back and try too hard. And that was a great Dragon Strike for him, as Bastion Man has his online. Should probably pop it immediately to let his team know that he has it available.
As we see Goblin immediately just fall to a large bagel, and then Slurp comes in with another dash. Hammond main coming in with another dash. See many players just flying across the field. Bastion main gets a double, a triple with the Dragon Strike. His teammates unable to follow up with their own Dragon Strikes as they get it. Kel does finally pop his and get 1, but then he's immediately counter-dragoned by Hammond main. And a large bagel is also going to pop his, yet sadly get no value out of it. Try to Heart's going to pop his, get at least 1 with it, as we see Goblin fall. We see Slun get double with his. Asu pops his. We see it come out. Sadly, no team popped all 6 at the same time, though.
Did have a nice run there of Dragon Strikes permanently being online and hogging up the kill feed. You see Sunnydale is able to flip the point, but it looks like they plan on immediately dashing away from it, as they're not going to take the fight to Boise State, who already is down 2. See one member of UC Sunnydale camping the point, unfortunately. Not the play you want to make in this championship game. You need to be farming those kills. As Maxwell, great read on the health pack, immediately picks it up, needs to steal a kill away from a teammate here. He's not able to, unfortunately, but he'll blame his teammates for that one as he misses quite a few shots, but it's because his teammates weren't just CCing the enemy member.
Yeah, UC Sunnydale, very famously, all controller players, so that aim assist really not coming in handy for them.
People seem to think that, you can feel the alt more on the controller. It is what some of our players have told you. Just feel like you're truly a samurai in that situation. We'll see if that was what allows UC Sunnydale to flip the point once again. They're in overtime. They've got to be careful, but they get 4 onto Boise State. Great job by Maxwell dying off point. That's going to allow UC Sunnydale to cap it. We see the hero play by Asu. He will get punched down, though. One more hero play coming out, but a dash away.
Yeah, and one key thing that we haven't even pointed out yet is the sprays. We haven't seen a lot of variety in these sprays. Only 1 or 2 Genjis have the default spray on.
We have not seen too much. You need to spray each health pack to let everyone in the game know that that is your health pack, and they're not allowed to take it. As UC Sunnydale does get wiped here, Boise State will look to grab the point. Very interested in winning this championship after making sure they cleaned up the enemy team first. Always very important. Couple sprays down there on the point. Players letting each other know as we're going to get some mid-air combat. There is What with his Dragon Strike. Unfortunately, he's not able to find much value as his teammates are taking all the kills. That will be very disappointing for him. He can't even get that final snipe. Ends up getting taken out.
Yeah, once again, we see Asu finally getting back to his roots and camping his team's side health pack. Not even going towards the enemies, only his team's. The best Flaming Genji we've seen so far, as Try Too Hard still was the only person on his team who tried to cap that point, living up to his name.
See, no contest there for Boise State. Great job by Bastion Main picking up a kill above the point, but not on the point, to send us to map number 3 of Control. And we will find it out here. A lot of areas behind in that side hut there where you can fight away from the point, Brenner. So these teams probably going to be very interested on winning that first fight and typing in team chat that it was worth it.
Always, we got to see more 1v1s, more 1v3s, and more 1v5s. Because if it's a 1v6, that's too unfair for the 1. You know, he's just going to wipe the floor with the 6. We don't want to see that. We want to see the 1v5 and the 1v3s happen.
Hopefully one of these teams will be able to drop the legendary 6-man Dragon Strike. They all press Q at the same time. The enemy team is legally forced to surrender. It is very, very hard. We have seen some teams pull it off in the regular season, but no one has been that ballsy here in our playoffs so far. Now that it's the championships, these teams will be extra careful. 2 members from Boise State do go down. Hammond Main has fallen, though. And UC Sunnydale will go chasing, looking to punish Boise State.
Yeah, it's interesting to see both Bastion Main and Hammond Main in this All-Genji league when anything but goes.
Yeah, we have seen some complaints from players that, they were promised the ability to play some of these teams or some of those heroes in the All-Star break. But really, those were just Bastion and Hammond with Genji voice lines and abilities. And some players took, some issue with the commissioner, and have since been protesting with their names, as we see here, 2 of those in the championship. And Boise State does a great job unlocking the point. They want to find one more onto What and Slurt, and they're able to get one. Can they get the extra one onto What? He's battling in a 1v2. Bastion Main will be taken out, unfortunately not able to pull off the 1v2.
Yeah, and one thing we saw for a split second was Goblin actually going AFK, hopefully to flame his team that we can't see the chat for. Real Genji play that you love to see in every match in this league.
Slurt looking to come back in. Well, we saw a low health target. He's looking for an engage here. We see multiple Genjis trying to farm some health packs.
Asu and a large bagel sticking to their roles, camping those health packs the best they can, with a large bagel taking out Bastion Main, trying to go for his health pack. But with those sprays, you dictate which one is yours. Hammond Main dashing onto Goblin, and then What dashing on to Try Too Hard. These Genjis are getting way too close to this point, something you don't like to see, as you see Sunnydale almost team wipes Boise State.
They did a moment walk off the point. That is acceptable. Making sure you get the kills over the objective, and multiple members are low, so health pack battles could be of a priority as Hammondman gets taken out. Slurt and Spaceman have to be careful, but Slurt does pick up one onto Goblin. Bastion Main, though, immediately takes down Slurt.
Good on Bastion Main, absolutely disgracing his name and just diving enemy teammates one after another. Unlike those stereotypical Bastions that just stay put and do nothing.
Yeah, we do not like those. We are not big fans of the champions, especially in the payload mode, where you just kind of hang out on the payload. We'd be shocked if either of these teams captured more than 1 or 2 points. Very interested in farming those kills. Maxwell is the recipient of our coveted first Dragon Strike of the game. Unfortunately, Ori Santo will activate his first. Not able to pick up a kill. Hammondman will use his right after. Does find one. Nice health pack steal away there. And Hammondman, unfortunately, is taken out as Asu looks like maybe Boise State's waiting for that 6-man Dragon Strike. We'll have to see.
Yeah, if they get that 6-man Dragon Strike, as we said, the enemy team immediately has to suicide and forfeit the match. So if Boise State is able to pull this off, they will just take this win, especially now that they don't even have control of the point.
Getting very close. They'll have 4 up here. Do they want to wait for Try Too Hard and Kel, who have both informed their teams that their ult is on lock? Of course, all Genjis know that that means that the ult is below 50%. So what will dash in? Oh, we're not going to see it, though. We are going to see 4 in a row for Boise State. Unfortunately, when you try and cheat the system like that and go for 4 instead of 6, you are punished by the Genji gods, and you will be taken out in short order. All of those ults for just 1 kill.
Yeah, what in the large bagel just cleaned up the Boise State team as they popped their 4, but the 2 from Sunnydale just wiped them out. The 2v4 goes to the side of Sunnydale. That's what you love to see from these Genji mains. Really just beating the odds.
We do see Try Too Hard has popped his ult. Would love to see Kel solo pop his as well off screen. 2 members have gone to take it down. Boise State starting to rally here. Overtime coming soon. They don't want to get caught on the point. That will be detrimental as overtime will be forced. And Boise State starting to get wiped now, and they will retreat off the point as needed. Maxwell does reset it, but should be punished here quite quickly by Slurt for daring to try and help finish this game for his team. It's a Dragon Strike by Slurt as well as Spaceman. They're both able to pick up 1. Hammondman gets another one. This round looks like if we head to UC Sunnydale.
Yeah, but you got to give these Boise State players credit, making this game last longer to farm more kills by stalling on this point. It's the weird part about this league of you don't want to be on point, but once it's overtime, you want to make it last as long as possible, but UC Sunnydale takes it.
Well, you are not going to want to miss the 3v3 Overwatch Showdown presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, broadcast live from the BSU Esports Arena. It's a perfect opportunity to win some prizes, Dragon Strike your friends, and ask the Army National Guard how they can help you get an education in gaming and interactive media with the finals held live on Saturday, April 16th. We just saw UC Sunnydale win our first map here in the Collegiate All-Genji Championships. They are moving on to hybrid. They are very, very close to pulling off this victory. And was there anyone in particular on UC Sunnydale that might be your leader in the clubhouse, Brenner, for this professional Chinese contract that is on the line tonight?
A Hammond main did very well. Even though he is a Hammond main, he pulled off Genji very well. And with the help of a large bagel, they were able to win that 2v4. So that was a very key play on the side of Sunnydale, away from the point. Yep. They did very well.
I did like that play from the 2 of them, realizing that the enemy team tried to confuse them, popping 4 Dragon Strikes, not 6, but they stayed in it. You're right, they double Dragon Strike. They were rewarded for their 2v4, so those are a pair of players you want to watch out for. But we're going to hybrid now. Hopefully somebody accidentally, starts typing while on the cart. Otherwise, we might not get very far. We'll be very interested to see how these players handle it. I'm sure for Boise State, Flame has got to be at an all-time high. They were very close to the mythical 6-man Dragon Strike. But unfortunately, all Genjis know you can only sit on your Q before so long, before it just auto-activates regardless of where you are in the team fight. So blame the 2 members who did not charge it, not the 4 that were forced to pop it. Otherwise, they would have just lost it because, you have to let everyone know how fast you build your ult up.
Yeah, not having any skin cohesion has also been hurting these teams.
Yep.
Not looking the same, not having all golden shurikens, it's not good for these players.
Yeah, it really does throw off the mojo. We do know who is the dedicated Genji players with the Golden Shurikens and those who are just trying to fit in. And you're right, I would like to see some more skin cooperation. There are some pretty awesome skins for Genji. Still have not seen an Illidan skin, which would really let the enemy team know they are not prepared for the 1v6 that is about to happen. But we get ready to go into hybrid here. Between these teams, it's the All-Genji Collegiate Championship. Finding out who's the best. Boise State, though, down early. And we will go over to Route 66.
Yeah, Route 66, pretty straightforward map. You just guide the car all the way to the end. See if any of these Genjis, especially Bastion main, is just going to absolutely throw his chances at that China Scholarship and sit on the cart.
Yeah, it does look like we have a pair of subs with the team switching sides. You see Sunnydale in the blue now, Boise State in the red. Does look like Papa Joe and Professor have come in. Their performances have been legendary in the past. Professor with a great job hiding out right there. Scouting the situation, trying to camp that spawn, and will get sniped out by Maxwell, though. But a great job there staring into the enemy spawn and trying to camp it.
Yeah, right off the bat, we saw a triple kill from Hammond main, but he was then taken out. So members of Boise State already coming right out the gate, getting revenge for that triple. And already we see 3 Genjis on the cart, now 2, but back to 3. So sad to see, but at least he's sitting on the cart with his googly eyes.
We can assume that Try Too Hard is only screaming at his team in voice comms that his ult is ready to go. Fans of that league will know when you use that keyword already, your ult is below 40% and nowhere close, and you probably haven't landed a single ability. But he has to make sure his team knows that he's ready at a moment's notice as Rezo does get taken out. Ooh, a large bagel, though, very low, not able to cap the health pack. Maybe Bastion main has figured out his strategy. Hammond main is able to take down the battle of the fake mains here. Gets another one there onto Kel. And you see Sunnydale putting in a great effort despite the substitutes. Takes down Boise State while making sure no one stands on the cart.
Yeah, these Boise State members standing on the cart really breaking our hearts in this Genji All-Star League. We're not seeing enough emoting either, especially after these kills. If they're flaming in chat this much, you'd think they'd be hitting control more.
I would like to see some more emotes, some more sprays all over that payload.
It's looking too clean.
Yeah, Bastion main and Hammond main both trade kills. Professor will take down Kel before Try Too Hard takes him down. Bastion main has had a great moment. Papa Joe, our first Dragon Strike of the game, immediately dying. Great usage there. We love to see a over-aggressive Dragon Strike resulting in a death here.
What Genji League would it be without it?
Maxwell will use his as well, so over 2 on Dragon Strike. Orisato trying to make it over 3. Unfortunately, he's able to pick up a kill. Hammond main will get one as well, and you see Sunnydale starting to cut through the competition. As that payload is oh so close to being capped. They are trying to make sure somebody pads their stats as Rezo will Dragon Strike himself. Nice spray there by Try Too Hard on the jump. Large bagel dash through, but Bastion main will unfortunately get the payload.
Yeah, extending this game out to 5:30. A lot of time to farm kills, but not going into overtime to even extend that much longer. Some negative points for these players for that China Scholarship.
We have had talks with the commissioner about potentially slowing down how fast the payload moves when a player is on it. We've really encouraged these teams to get away from that objective. As Kel gets a triple kill, make it 4. Can he find 5 and 6? No. Teammate baits him into that one. He is very upset, I'm sure. That 4 kill from Kel, something we want to keep an eye on for.
Yeah, we also missed Professor popping his ult and dying almost immediately.
Oh, good job.
Getting bonus points on that. Definitely a player to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we love when players are able to smash Q as soon as it comes online. They don't care how much health they're at and then immediately dies. Try Too Hard looks to join that club, and he will. Spaceman also popping the ult at just 10 HP. Will get taken out, and everyone now realizing that bonus points are found when you pop that ult below 50 HP. Goblin does pick up a kill. See if Maxwell wants to use his ult, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, you know they're a pro Genji player when they just panic press Q as soon as they get it. You're at 1 HP, there's no teammates giving you healing, you're spamming the button, you pop Q, you die immediately, you flame your team. That's how you know you're a peak Genji League player.
Ooh, Maxwell Sneaking past the enemy team.
Stealth 100 here, playing the wrong game. This isn't Skyrim. You're not stealthing with a bow.
Have to assume he's typing somewhere to someone, maybe be it Discord. Yeah, here we go. He is definitely getting the flame on. Accidentally hit the enter button, so he didn't move a little bit.
Not even a spray on the ground, but we do see a spray on the roof. So shout out to the Genji who has that. Even the default and the emo peak Genji plays, but it's all ruined by him sitting on the cart.
Hate to see it, really. We'll see if he's able to redeem himself. Ooh, fails the jump. Bonus points there. Fails it again, then goes dashing back over to the side of UC Sunnydale, where Bastion main has used his ult. He picked up one, he picked up two. A large bagel trying to redeem himself. Needs to find a dash there to get one. He does find one. He can't quite get the second one, though. Cut down mid-animation. He's already making a post on the Overwatch forums about server lag.
Large Bagel and Rezo actually traded. A great Genji moment for this league as we see Spaceman and Hammond main get a double kill for UC Sunnydale, with Try Too Hard immediately getting revenge onto Hammond main. See one Dragon Strike on each side as we see UC Sunnydale pop their one. Professor now just getting his as well. We're seeing a double kill on the Dragon Strike, but then immediately dies before it even ends. Bonus points to that player, not even letting it expire. We see Professor going towards the enemy's spawn and stealing their med pack. Peak Genji plays here.
Yeah, now we gotta expect he's gotta use his ult quickly to keep this hot streak up.
Yeah, he's guarding the cart too. He's got to be one of those tank Genjis. He pops his ult as he gets low health and dies immediately. Professor being the peak Genji player you love to see right now, as we swap over to Bastion main as he dashes in, gets a double kill with the golden shurikens and the Power Ranger skin. A lot of these players really showing off their peak Genji League skills, not even sitting on the cart, as we pop over to Goblin with his Dragon Blade almost in UC Sunnydale spawn, popping his Dragon Blade same time as Try Too Hard, not able to get a single kill yet, but right at the end of it is able to pop it.
Great job there. Now sees the health pack. Now has to start typing. There we go. Quick little GG easy in the chat, I'm sure.
Pops the deflect as well, not even using it. You'll love to see it.
Hammond main did all immediately die. We've seen a lot of excellent plays from players like that so far in today's championship. We would expect nothing less from some of the best that the Collegiate All-Genji League has to offer. As Kel takes down a large bagel. Spaceman looking for one more. Bastion main has popped his ult. Goblin somehow staying alive. Very unfortunate he does not have his ult. As Boise State, they will pick up a triple kill for themselves. Hammond main will go down as well, and nearly a team kill. But this would empower a large bagel in a 1v6 with his ult, so good job staying away.
Yeah, one thing to note is even when Genjis do unfortunately go to the card, they are getting healing from it, and we haven't really heard a lot of I need healing as we see Kel quickly take out the Professor.
You see Maxwell has used his ultimate. Unfortunately not able to find a kill. A large bagel can't even get the ult off. He does get a kill, but Amina taking it down. Rezo looking to find a couple more. Is just over 2.5 minutes left. Some of the fastest cart pushing we've seen all season. But they're going to make a good job here camping the spawn. Should be able to pick up a pair of kills here, maybe even more.
Yeah, UC Sunnydale using the peak Genji strategy of trickling in. You never want to push as a team.
Yep.
They did so well there, but Boise State ends the game. They got to lose points for that.
Yeah, we will have to see how UC Sunnydale can respond here. It's going to be a very tough task to match Boise State's speed. Maybe they go with the reverse, where they don't move the cart at all. We know our judges like that, and might even give UC Sunnydale the championship if they don't let the cart move even a single inch. It can be very hard, though, so we want to make sure we watch out for that. But it is the Collegiate All-Genji League Championships here. It's Boise State and UC Sunnydale. UC Sunnydale up 1-0 on going into map 2, but the Broncos have put them in a very, very sticky situation. We'll see how these teams respond. Some of the subs coming in, making some phenomenal plays. Professor, a big shout out. Multiple uses of the Dragon Strike and then immediately dying. But it does look like our judges have informed us. Boise State has won that one. Looks like some behind-the-scenes shenanigans. They did not like the lack of flame from UC Sunnydale. So we will go on to map 3, and we will crown our champion here, Brenner. One team will go away victorious, and the other one will be forced to play normal Overwatch and probably get stuck in a tank queue.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that neither of these teams have brought out, their pocket pick Genji. You really hope to see it in this league, but no one has pulled it off yet.
Hey, you would think in the championship in game number 3, somebody's got to go to that favored Genji that they have been playing spectacularly in this tournament. Unfortunately, we've just seen a lot of Genjis come out, a couple more Genjis here and there, especially from Boise State side. They've really favored that Genji lineup. But we know at times they've absolutely wiped the floors team when they all lock in Genji. So it will be something we want to keep an eye out here as we get to map 3. If these teams go back to their tried and true, or if they try and get too creative and play themselves out of a championship.
Yeah, we all know Overwatch is a one-on-one game.
Yep.
It's not team-oriented. We're here to get kills. This is like Call of Duty. You run and gun, or run and shirkin in this matter. You never want to see plays where you're fighting over the point and trying to extend the game, unless it's overtime where you can farm more kills. So these players doing well. We're seeing some health pack camping. We're seeing a lot of instant panic ults and immediately dying, which is why we're really proud of Professor in this. We saw him do it almost every time, and it was phenomenal.
We take a look at some of the highlights here. You see Goblin just so expertly dancing around that point, picking up a health pack there. Excellent play by him. Asu then failing the jump as well until forcing a self-suicide. Those are always very, very key plays. Those are some players to watch out for here as we get ready to go on to map number 3 with these two teams tied at 1 win aside.
Yeah, Isu and a large bagel, those two support Genjis we mentioned early on, really camping those health packs. And on that second map, we saw Isu get the suicide dash kill, doing very well as that Genji main that we all know and love.
I'd be curious to see if UC Sunnydale goes back to this tried and true comp that was able to win them on map 1, or at the subs who made some excellent, as you mentioned, panic, dragon strike, instant death plays will be kept in the game to maybe try and woo the favor of chat and the judges. We will have to see as we do get some more replays here. Should see our potential quad dragon strike mistake. Yeah, we'll see it right here from Boise State. 4 dragon strikes, not as powerful as 6, so they lose to the 2 dragon strikes as, Karma will punish you for thinking you've had a one fight by hitting Q more often than the team. So good job there by UC Sunnydale, making sure Boise State learned their plays, that you have to wait for all 6 ults to come up, not just 4.
Yeah, especially when they were going into the 4v2. As Genjis, you want to have the odds stacked against you. You don't want to have the advantage there. That's how you know a peak Genji player, when you're taking fights that you know you're probably going to lose.
We will head on to our final map here. We know all Genji players hate payload maps. We love fighting over control points because it just means everyone's stacked in one place. So whoever comes away as a winner here will be our champion. And we are just waiting to see here, as we do see Papa Joe and Professor have stayed in the lineup for UC Sunnydale. So that was something we want to keep an eye on there on the blue side. Ooh, Papa Joe.
Possibly an early suicide coming out from Papa Joe.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and we love to see it. Round of applause for Papa Joe, the peak Genji player we've seen in this tournament, as we see Rezo immediately get a dash onto Professor, and Large Bagel committing suicide. 2 players from the side of UC Sunnydale really bringing out peak Genji plays on this map. That's why we love this map for Genjis, is the amount of possible suicides, as Try Too Hard immediately gets a double kill and Goblin gets a dash onto Papa Joe.
Boise State will capture the point for us, not respecting the multiple self-destructs by UC Sunnydale, as Orisato is able to pick up 1. Goblin trying to find that ult, the Large Bagel dashing around. Boise State looking for a kill, as we do see Kel take down self-suicide off the edge as well.
Yeah, these Genjis able to trade on point, sadly, but the fact that they are fighting on point is quite interesting. Something you typically don't see in the Genji League, because it's not even overtime yet. Why are you stalling it out? We want maximum time. You got to let the enemy team get to the 99%, then flame your team for letting him even get that far.
Right, we have seen that strategy work out. Professor will go dashing in. Oh, see, good job on the wall jump fail there, and he's gonna, barely climbs out of that self-suicide. Will unfortunately be taken down, punished for his crime. And Boise State, unfortunately, starting to pull away with this one with a better point management, which we always hate to see in this championship.
Yeah, and since UC Sunnydale lost the last match, they were given the handicap of having 360 health this time versus Boise State's 200 per character. So Boise State really is going to get a ton of points here for every kill they get, just absolutely wiping the floor in these 1v1s against UC Sunnydale that has the health bonus.
Hammond Main goes dashing in, looking to find one more. He's got the Dragon Strike, but Boise State, oh, UC Sunnydale getting in close. No, Hammond Main and Ori Sato ruin the 6-man Dragon Strike. You hate to see that, Brenner. That just pure mismanagement of resources in a championship game. Nerves can get to these players, and they make an awful mistake there when they are so close to victory.
They got real close as we see Papa Joe and Professor Poppet back-to-back, with Papa Joe getting the double kill and Professor swing for his life, yet gets taken out by Kel. And then we see the suicide from Bastion Main. Boise State really trying to bring back now with the 2-1 for suicides on this team.
You see the point flip as UC Sunnydale forced to farm kills and capture the point. We do have one also available from a large bagel who's trying to camp the health package. They're doing that so well this season. A leader in healing done to himself in the regular season. Always a favorite to get the most health packs. Unfortunately, not able to do it as Rezo has popped the alt. Cal gets a pair more, and Boise State looking maybe here to wrap this one up, put themselves one game away from a championship as Rezo knew exactly where the health pack was.
Rezo almost falling off and evening up the suicides for his team, getting extra points, but it looks like Boise State is almost going to take it, with Papa Joe being able to stall it just in time, like a peak Genji player, just annoying that enemy team and stalling it for maximum kill potential. We're going to see Try Too Hard pop his Dragon Blade, with Kelsa having his in the back line. Try Too Hard getting a double kill with it. And with the golden deflect coming out as well, we're going to see Kel pop his Dragon Strike, able to get a kill with it. Marshall gets the final melee. Multiple dashes, but it looks like Boise State's going to take this first round.
Boise State now one map away from being your collegiate All-Genji League champions. They were the #1 seed in the West, a very, very feared Genji six-sum for this Broncos squad that has not showed any signs of slowing down. We'll see if they're able to pick up the championship here in short order against UC Sunnydale.
Let's see if UC Sunnydale can pull off that double suicide once again. That definitely won them a ton of points towards that China scholarship. Even though they are losing these matches, they're at least not fighting on point because they didn't even come close to the winning round that Boise State did.
Here we go. This is a lot of pressure on both these teams. UC Sunnydale needs to make sure they don't make those noob mistakes of popping Dragon Strikes when you almost had all 6 available.
Already, Hammond Main's above 25% for his Dragon Blade, which he's had all game. I don't know why he hasn't popped it yet, as all these Genjis have been flaming their team for not having their ults just yet.
Ooh, UC Sunnydale, multiple members very low. Health pack camping will be at a premium. You see, as is customary, all health packs automatically put on cooldown, as they are almost always automatically hooked up. Kel barely staying alive. Ooh, wins that. Sprays down as well. That's a huge play. And going to go camp that health pack. Great job there by Kel. Just peak Genji League play.
Yeah, the 1v1 wins it, sprays, and immediately dives for a health pack. That was just respawning. Perfect timing on his side, especially with UC Sunnydale still having that penalty of the extra 360 health.
Sunnydale has got onto the point first. Good job by Goblin, spraying as he walks off the point. Love to see that.
Gotta spray on the dead corpses, especially when they can't see it and they have to come back to it. We're seeing the hellos come out from Goblin. You love to see that toxicity out of a Genji player, yet sadly we're still not seeing that skin cohesion that we've always wanted to see in this league.
These teams just never able to agree on which Genji skin is the best, unfortunately. Has led to some team drama, squads breaking up over that debate. You see Hammond Main, oh, great use of the Dragon Strike to get exactly 9 HP, immediately taken out. Rezo, though, will fall off the edge, and UC Sunnydale looks like, thanks to that perfectly timed Dragon Strike by Hammond Main, he's going to be able to get the point.
Sadly, we saw there a large bagel died with Dragon Strike and didn't pop it to keep himself alive. Things you hate to see for this China scholarship chances, as we do see a quick exchange right outside the point as 2 members of UC Sunnydale fall.
UC Sunnydale could be saving up for the 6-man Dragon Strike. Never mind, a large bagel will nix that plan, realizing he needs to use it to pick up some much-needed kills for himself.
But he did die with it, so that is good for him. We're going to see Papa Joe pop it.
Perfect.
And not even use it all the way at the top of the map. Pops it at their spawn just as a BM. The fact that we haven't even heard a voice in yet is so surprising as a peak Genji BM. We're going to see Bastion main hiding in a corner. Melee Professor as he was even ulting. These Genji peak plays from UC Sunnydale are nothing but impressive.
Love to see Boise State go for the 6-man Dragon Strike here. Kel, unfortunately, will decide below 50 HP. Does get a bonus to Dragon Strike damage. Fortunately, not able to use that as Professor will take him down, but now Professor and Hammond are very low. Pair of health packs that need to be camped for UC Sunnydale, but they'll both be taken out. And fortunately, UC Sunnydale starting to run out of time here for their hopes for a championship.
Yeah, tried too hard, really taking this game too seriously, getting a quad kill on point, no less. Looks like Maxwell's going to be camping the enemy spawn with the Dragon Blade and go in as players are rotating through. You love to see it, yet he's able to only get 1 kill onto Spaceman. Gets 1 enemy Genji down to 1 HP, yet Kel comes in for the melee steal. And we're going to see Goblin take up Papa Joe, then a large bagel get a double kill onto Kel and Maxwell. Way far away from point. You love to see it, but Boise State still having control, getting near 99%. We're going to see Spaceman dive onto point, try to get that contest so they can get to 99% for maximum overtime. We're going to see a double Dragon Blade come out from the side of Boise State. A lot of teams playing right on the edge, possibly getting a self-suicide from Bastion main, with Maxwell and Rezo cleaning up the rest of the UC Sunnydale team.
Like it could be a win. Boise State just mere moments away from a championship.
Rezo health pack camping, you love to see it, especially on this lower health team.
Takes out Professor, and nice ult from trying too hard. Farming up kills as Space It will go down as well. Main trying to bring his team back into it, realizing those double kills are so important right now. Fortune does get taken out. Ori Sato does pick up 1 though. He has a love to use UC Sunnydale with the Dragon Strike at about 12 HP, and Boise State will win the round, and they will be your Collegiate All-Genji League champions. Huge shout out to Boise State. Some excellent play in these playoffs and in the regular season. The Broncos are the champions. But the question we all want to know here, Brenner, we don't care about the championship. It's all about the individual play for this Boise State team. We've said the ICCU player of the game will be receiving a professional guaranteed contract to China to participate in their professional All-Genji League. Who do you think it's going to be? Because these players are going to be fighting over this for a long time.
Definitely can't be try too hard. He was playing on that point way too much and playing the game like it was normal Overwatch. This is the Genji League.
Yep.
You can't be doing that.
Yep.
You definitely got to keep your eyes on Professor there, especially because he was panic ulting a lot. You definitely got to keep your eyes on a large Bagel and Asu, the 2 supports camping those health packs, constantly taking disadvantage fights and then winning them like a pro Genji. You love to see it. Also, you got to keep your eyes on Goblin. He was spraying, killing. We saw Papa Joe at the enemy spawn pop his ult, not even use it.
That was a good one.
And just throw some shurikens at a player and even missing them. So I would definitely keep my eyes on those 4 to 5 players for sure.
And there's a lot of pressure on this one. One of these players gets to graduate to the big leagues. The rest, unfortunately, will just tell their children of the Genji League, and it will be Asu. Pick it up, the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. As you mentioned, doing a great job camping those health packs, making sure no one else on his team could receive some healing. Also sprinkled in some self-suicides, as we see right there in our replay. So he is your ICCU player of the game. They believe a great player and a great selfish Genji make a team more winnable and more responsible for learning the perfection it is the All-Genji League. Just like they're helping their members achieve financial success, your ICCU player of the game is Asu, and a big congratulations to him. So he'll be heading off to China to play in the All-Genji Professional League. And with plays like that, camping health packs, I'm sure he will fit right in.
Yeah, you love to see a support Genji like that get that scholarship, because everyone likes to watch those DPS players, but as a Genji, it's not about the DPS. It's about getting those flames, camping those health packs, getting the sprays, having the golden shurikens, and Asu just had it all.
Yeah, the support Genji need over there, I've been told, is very, very high. He could find himself on a very, very talented team in short order. So that'll be something we want to watch out for. But that will wrap up this year's All-Genji Collegiate Championship. A huge congratulations to Boise State, but UC Sunnydale did everything they could to advance on a judge's decision. But the judges wanted to stay out of this because this was the championship. Well, we will wrap things up with our top 5 plays. Will we see the solo alt above the spawn? Will we see the health pack camping? We don't know. We do know, though, it's all brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. They're the best team out there. Reach out on Twitch at iGuard Gaming, and here are your top 5 plays from this year's All-Genji Collegiate Championship. This is going to be a good one. Of course, we followed Boise State this whole season. They have been immaculate with their uses of the
suicide. Here comes the very first Dragon Strike of the game, and an immediate follow-up by Kel.
There we go. 3 in a row for the Dragon Strike. A pair pop for Boise State. Unfortunately, Kel will go down with his Dragon Strike. A large bagel going to keep it up. Fans love when we're able to chain the Genji screaming as long as possible.
As many as we can as we jump right into this. We're seeing so many dashes come right off the bat as Joe gets a double kill, and then a 5-man already with Rezo being the last one on the Boise team. He's able to get one more, but Goblin finishing it out. Already we're up to an explosive opener in this all game. Immediately just fall to a large bagel, and then Slurn comes in with another dash. Hammondmain coming in with another dash. See many players just flying across the field. Bashmain gets a double, a triple with the Dragon Strike. His teammates unable to follow up with their own Dragon Strikes as they get it. Kel does finally pop his and get.
Of course, all Genjis know that that means that the ult is below 50%. What will dash in? Oh, we're not going to see it, though. We are going to see 4 in a row for Boise State. Unfortunately, when you try and cheat the system like that and go for 4 instead of 6, you are punished by the Genji gods, and you will be taken out in short order. We are champion. We are just waiting to see here, as you do see Papa Joe and Professor have stayed in the lineup for UC Sunnydale, so that was something we want to keep an eye on there on the blue side. Ooh, Papa
Possibly
Joe.
an early suicide coming out from Papa Joe.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
we
and
love
we
to
love
see it.
to see it. Round of applause.
Hello and welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Transitioning over now to the play versus regular season between Boise State and the University of North Texas. A battle of first place teams as the Broncos all squad, as all members of both the orange and blue squad eligible in the play versus. Boise State has been shuffling lineups depending on matchups, team play, etc., who's available. So right now we'll see what Boise State has to offer, but they are taking on a very talented North Texas team. As we mentioned, this is a battle for first place in play versus in the regular season. Now we are going to get a little bit different. Of course, we've been used to this best of 3 format, Brenner. We will switch over to a best of 5. So potentially, fatigue, handling, how long these matches go, especially if we get long overtimes, could come into play for these teams. And we're going to see 2CP as play versus plays at second, which is a mode that these players might not, I understand they're familiar with it, but they haven't played it in a while because a lot of tournaments and Blizzard in a year or so, whenever Overwatch 2 comes out, it's just deleting the mode. So we'll see how those modes are played because probably on the unfamiliar scale for these teams.
Yeah, especially with Overwatch 2 not essentially replacing with their new mode push. I'm very curious how these players might handle it, especially with how often they just don't play it. So we might see maybe a little bit variety in the heroes that they play. That's something we'd love to see rather than the classic, Ryan, Zarya, or the double bubble meta. That would be really interesting. That could bring in maybe the possible Reaper who was recently buffed. There's a lot of things we'd hope to see, especially with Orisa now receiving the buff that she doesn't receive crit headshots when she pops golden. So there's a lot of interesting variety that could come out from both of these teams.
Yeah, be curious to see. We have seen a lot of the standard, as you mentioned, the Ryan Zarya, the Ryan Diva. We've seen a lot of McCree and May, and then just the Baptiste and the Lucio. So we'll be curious to see who is going to be playing for Boise State. I believe it will be predominantly the blue team for the Broncos here in this first-place showdown between North Texas. Of course, we will still start on Control, which is very similar to 2CP, and it is going to be whoever can win that first fight usually ends up being victorious. Boise State, in recent weeks, has struggled to win that first fight, but that doesn't only stop them from winning Control. So I'll be curious to see if we see more of the same like we saw earlier this week, Brenner, where maybe the team that wins the first fight on Control doesn't actually win, which kind of goes against the whole point of the mode, but somehow Boise State has made it work.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to say the least, and especially with how double bubble works, that you don't really play on the point, you play just outside of it on their end of it, so that way when they push into you, you can easily jump right back. And especially with the whole Zarya Diva going back and forth between the two for each of the metas, I'm very curious to see what team will go with which strategy.
So you see the play-verse breakdown here. 62 teams, a 7-week regular season, the Swiss format. So as you win, your competition will get tougher and tougher. As we mentioned, it is a mixed roster for Boise State. All 12 players, more than 12 players from both the blue and the orange team are eligible to play in any of these games. And the playoffs are coming up later this month on April 24th and 25th. And right now, Boise State is trending in that direction. But a win here today would go a long way. As we mentioned, it's a battle. There's a 4-way tie for first. Two of those teams going at it right now with Boise State and the University of North Texas getting ready to go for map number 1 on Control. We'll see if it is the Boise State blue team, what they plan to come out. They've seen a lot of success recently with that Farah, who has had a minor buff to her hover rate, and that might be something that the University of North Texas, the mean and green, have to figure out as we get ready to go. When we do see it looks like it will be the full Boise State blue squad of Guac, Kel, Goblin, Plato, Asu, and a large bagel. So this team, a very familiar team. Don't have to worry about any communication issues like we have to worry about if it was sort of a mixed squad.
Yeah, and that's one thing you do love to see, and I'm very curious if we will see the pharmacy come out from our BSU blue team, especially because it was such a good play when we saw them on Tuesday. So if that is and does make the difference against this North Texas team, I hope we see it come out.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of pressure on North Texas McCree.
Round 1.
Of course, he won't bring in McCree for this map, as Junkrat is very dominant here, but it would have to be a lot of pressure on either Hawkins or Aspect if they switch on that McCree if Boise State brings out the pharmacy. But right now, both teams with very identical comps. It's just Aliens on the Zarya and Kel on the Diva that are the lone differences. As an immortality field already comes down for Joe. Will be taken out. Plato gets the first elimination, but the Broncos will lose Guac. Without a main tank, Boise State has got to be very, very careful. You can see Aqua Shield is low. Can the Broncos punish? Doesn't look like they're able to, as they're sort of split up now. Goblin will be taken out. Kel forced out of the mech, and Boise State probably should be looking for a reset. Guac going in, not the play.
Yeah, even back in my day, one of our dog keys of the game was keep the Ryan alive. And with Plato getting a triple on the tire so early on in this matchup, that can definitely turn the tide in Boise State's favor after losing it so early on. North Texas won the first team fight, but Boise State came back swinging so quickly with Plato on this Junkrat, as we're going to see Aspect use his own tire, see if he's able to get any kills on it. He does manage to pick up Goblin, which does end up evening it up, but then Hawkins is going to swing it in his advantage by taking out Kel.
You see Boise State, Immortality Feeling goes down. One comes out from Joe as well. Block gets stunned, barely staying alive, but will be taken out around the corner. Asu even using that Ant Matrix with a large bagel. Gets a boop off an edge. Photon Barrier comes out from Goblin, and Boise State wants to keep this fight going. Hawkins will also throw down his, so a pair of Photon Barriers come out to try and cut down the damage that both teams are receiving. A large bagel does have the sound barrier, so he's able to get back into the fight as Joe and Goblin are both taken out, and Boise State looks like they've gotten back on the point in time. A great hold from the remaining members on the team.
Yeah, Kel and Goblin played that very well with both Hawkins and Goblin throwing down their walls. They were able to play around them with Kel buying his team as long time as he can with that Diva. With North Texas not even having a tank alive to help contest it, having that additional health pool really buys his team the most time. But now with North Texas throwing down their amplification matrix, they still have Drop the Beat online, and with Boise State having Drop the Beat as well, but they also have Shatter. With North Texas not having Shatter even close to coming online, but they are getting close to their grab. With Shatter now coming out from Guac, unable to get enough value to swing tide in his favor. We do see Self-Destruct come out from Kel, but right behind the enemy team with also Drop the Beat coming out to counter that grab. So far, many exchanges coming out, but with not too many kills. Plato now just taking out that Ryan with Hawkins quickly coming back onto Asu. Guac takes out Hawkins. Then the Lucio gets the boop onto Plato, killing him with Goblin taking out Joe, and Lucio once again taking out Diva. Going back and forth, but without North Texas capping the point just yet, Boise State's getting near that 99%.
Pair of Photon Barriers come out again, as well as an Ant Matrix from Asu. Does look like North Texas should be able to flip this in overtime. We'll see if the Broncos have any tricks up their sleeve. There is a Rift Tire up for Aspect. We'll see if he's able to pull off the miracle play here to keep UNT in it. Looks for one, doesn't find it. Will eventually take down Guac, and that should allow North Texas, and it will, to flip the point as Boise State's going to lose 3-1.
Yeah, North Texas seems to really be able to burn down Boise State's tanks and then just roll over the back line. Yes, Plato has been getting a ton of damage and a ton of ult value for his team, but with no front line, you can't simply push into North Texas.
You see North Texas about 20% ahead on the sound barrier.
We do see Goblin swap over to the Pharma without a Mercy. See if Farah is able to make that much of a difference, especially without having wall up. We do see Amplification Matrix come out from North Texas, not getting a ton of value, but they do manage to take out Plato with the Flame Strike. Aqua getting a double kill there with Hawkins and Aspect quickly taking out the last two tanks for Boise State. Goblin not getting a ton of value here, just poking damage, trying to bring back the North Texas team away from his teammates so that they can push up a little bit and help contest, but getting taken out by Joe.
It's an interesting pick for Goblin to go on to that Farah. We'll see if he wants to stick on it. Boise State does have the shatters. We're going to get a grab come out from Alias. There's a Rift Tire from Plato, but a sound barrier in response from Missile means that nobody will be taken out by it. And Boise State's going to lose a pair more. Now the Broncos have got to be careful that they're even going to have the members alive to re-contest. Hawkins will throw down the Photon Barrier. Goblin will go right through it. He does take down Alias before getting taken out. Boise State's got to swap over to something to get onto that point quickly, and they're not able to get there as Guac was just meters away. And North Texas with a nice rally down 99-25, able to pick up our first map.
Yeah, North Texas just had the better comp because they had the Zarya into the Diva. They could just completely negate that defense matrix and just burn it down. And then we had Goblin swap over to the Farah and just wasn't simply getting value whatsoever. North Texas just pushed into the main five-man group of Boise State while they were just taking the poke damage in the back because they could simply just out-heal his damage.
Does look like that this time, for a moment there, Asu was on the Mercy. Ended up switching back. See if Boise State's going to keep Goblin on the play. Looks like they will. They will go with a double bubble. Meanwhile, North Texas will change up a little bit as well, so a lot of pressure on Hawkins to land those shots on the Goblin on the Pharah. We'll see how that battle goes. So the teleporter comes down. Boise State spots it, but they're not able to stop North Texas onto the point first. Block taken low, has to leap away. Make sure he stays alive with Large Bagel providing some healing. Now Plato's incredibly low. Boise State's taking a ton of damage. Not a lot has gone out onto North Texas, and the Large Bagel drops low as well. See a flank setting up here from Plato. He's going to be forced to dash away. Joe forced to throw down that Immortality Field, immediately gets burned down. Great chance here for Boise State. They're unable to find it, and unfortunately that will leave them just trying to find an ult of some kind as an Animatrix is up very soon for Joe. And there they go. They get one onto Hawkins. They get a boop off the edge onto Alias. And that's going to open things up as the Broncos get one more. Asu will fall off the edge, unfortunately. But that does not matter. Boise State's able to pick up a total of 4 kills.
Yeah, Boise State with this double bubble has to pick their targets and dive right onto it. We do see a Large Bagel commit suicide, probably to swap over. If not, maybe that was just a mistake on his end. We do see Plato and Guac get their ults up, same with Goblin, so now Boise State does have the advantage. We did see a Large Bagel swap over to the Ana, so Ana is now going to be very dangerous against this North Texas team, who now swapped over to the Echo as well to try to contest that pharmacy.
Yeah, no mercy, though, for Aspect, so he's going to have to be very careful, especially with, you know, if he's going to stay on the ground. Looks like he will now go up in the air. There's a pulse bomb that will come out from Plato. It's able to take down Missile. We see a 4-man anti land from a Large Bagel. Fortunately, Boise State's not able to get a kill, as the Rocket Barrage only finds 1. They do lose Guac as well, so they are down their main tank. And here comes the side of North Texas pushing through with a Shatter. Another huge anti is going to land. This time it's on the Alias. Hawkins and Joe get taken out. And great 4-man anti from a Large Bagel. He will be taken down, but Boise State's going to send North Texas retreating.
Yeah, Boise State played that fantastically. It seemed Goblin practically solo ulted Aspect to just get rid of that Echo and gain air control. And then as soon as North Texas got out of that cover, Goblin just laid into them. And like you mentioned, that anti was huge, just denying all the healing so they could just burst that North Texas team down. So it seems that they're going to try for the rotation once more, but with Boise State having the Grav, the Primal, and the Valkyrie, things aren't looking too good, as already a Large Bagel is able to take out that Diva.
Going into a Shatter and a Ant Matrix, so it could possibly allow give Boise State some trouble. But right now, North Texas is just going to wait for that Diva. They are starting to run out of time, though, but a great pick from Aspect onto a Large Bagel could mean it's time to go. Pulse Bomb's available. Revive does come out as Asu is not punished. Boise State, there we go. Deadeye comes out, but Aspect's the first one taken down. Missile's going to drop the Sound Barrier as well, and an Immortality Field. Oh, total overkill for North Texas. Shatter does come out, only lands onto Kel. As a Rocket Barrage is going to be able to pick up both tanks. Alias does Diva Bomb down Asu, but that's all. And without their tank, North Texas will just be short for this world.
Yeah, Boise State played the double bubble much better than they did the near mirror comp on the last map. So Boise State takes it, able to focus down the tanks as they're rotating and land those great antis after swapping to that off that Lucio. And with the Mercy helping that Pharah, they just played much better as a team that round.
Going to game number 3 in these battle of first place teams. Who will come out on top? There's a 4-way tie for first, so you have to imagine you'll be tied with at least one other team if you win this. And we go to a map 3 in these game here. It looks like for Boise State, it'll be much of the same that we saw on map 2. In North Texas, at least for now, looks like they want to go back to that Symmetra in a comp that they won the first map on.
And this time we do see them bringing a Mei instead of the Junkrat. And for Boise State, it looks like they're going to match that Symmetra as well. But this time they're going to bring the McCree to counter that Mei. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play it, because Mei is going to play very close to her Reinhardt. So they're going to be kind of a very close-knit team, and they already get the teleporter on to the start, whereas Boise State didn't. So things are already looking pretty good for North Texas, but they immediately lose the Mei to Plato. Plato already getting his value, able to take out that Mei. So being down a team member, they already lose the Immortality Field as well. Symmetra trying to burn down that Reinhardt shield the best she can. So we see already North Texas having to back off the point as Boise State is able to just slowly start pushing into them. We see the Amplified Field already come out for the side of North Texas, gets no value, as we see a triple kill come out for Boise State. Soon to be a quad, it seems, as Baby Diva gets perfectly trickled down.
Now, very rarely do you see the team that puts the teleporter down in the worst location be the team that wins. You see there's a photon barrier for Goblin, just waiting to use it. Aspect will also have his. You probably have to expect North Texas to try some sort of cheeky teleport. It looks like for now they'll just push through the low ground. There's a photon barrier that comes out from Goblin and from Aspect. Cannot quite see where Goblin's photon barrier is. Looks like it's on the point, cutting off the side of North Texas. Kel does get frozen though. Will be taken out of the mech. There's a huge backline shatter from Glock. Able to land it on the 2. Immortality Field comes down, but Missile is taken out. Now Aqua has the shatter. The Broncos have got to be careful, as he can flip the fight. Cryo Freeze does come out. Goblin goes down. There's the 4-man shatter from Aqua, and that's going to spell doom for Boise State, as they're going to lose 3 members.
Yeah, Boise State opened that fight very strong, popping 3 of their ultimates right off the bat, saving the shatter, and they just got sound barrier at the tail end of that. Yet sadly, North Texas, with that immortality field, Boise State wasn't able to burn it down just quick enough after that shatter came out, which was so good from Glock. But North Texas was able to take it, and now that they have Blizzard up with self-destruct right behind it, things are looking too good for the next fight for Boise State unless they are able to land the perfect sound barrier.
Well, Plato nearly dies already, incredibly low. Should be able to be healed up by his team. Boise State's looking for an angle in. They've now also got to go into another photon barrier for Aspect. Goblins is close behind though. His Ace also has the Ant Matrix, and he'll immediately throw it down right on the point. There's a perfect photon barrier to cut down on that Ant Matrix. Boise State holding on to their ults for now. There's a sound barrier on both sides. Walk will be taken out. Kel tries for the sneaky backline teleport. Has to fly away back to a health pack, and Boise State's probably going to retreat for their main tank. Only getting 1 ult out of that fight, as Goblin will be taken out, and everyone else for Boise State will go running.
Yeah, if Kel, when he teleported, had that self-destruct, it definitely would have changed that fight for the better. But Aspect picking up that triple, seems Boise State definitely needs to bring together this final push, especially as North Texas nears the 2/3 mark for this control point. The ultimate's getting pretty even for this team. We're going to see Blizzard come out, but Kel ends up eating it with the defense matrix, so amazing for Kel. We're going to see the bomb come out, yet it only takes out the invincibility fear. We're going to see Plato activate the Deadeye, yet get taken out by Aspect. Once again, Aspect getting the double kill onto both DPSs on the side of Boise State. We're going to see the Shatter come out as well for North Texas. Things looking very good as Boise State activates their sound barrier, yet Boise State looking like they're going to have to back up as they lost 2 new players. We're going to see Goblin swap over the Doomfist as well. Walk pops his Shatter to try to buy his teammates some much needed time. We're going to see the self-destruct come out from the North Texas Diva. We're going to see the Matrix come out from Boise State as well. It seems Boise State's just using everything they have to try to buy as much time, because it seems like North Texas has this game in the bag.
Overtime's about to end. No one from Boise State could get there. And as soon as North Texas was able to get onto the point, Boise State could just not see through those Symmetra turrets. So the mean and green will pick up our first win here in this play versus best of 5 in a battle of first place teams. We'll see if Boise State has the answer, because it felt like at times the Broncos were dominating, but North Texas just found a way to really kind of make Boise State to panic with some of those ults. And we saw a solo shatter onto a Symmetra. Just really not the reserved and calculated team play we're used to seeing for Boise State. Kind of felt like a solo queue game where guys are just ulting whenever they had it up.
Yeah, definitely seen the case. North Texas played very close together. We saw Aspect quickly be able to remove multiple DPSs from the side of Boise State and just burn them down. And when you're running a Diva into a Symmetra, that's not a great lineup. That's the issue we saw in the first map. North Texas had the Zarya, Boise State had the Diva, and she was just getting constantly burned down. Yeah, she was able to eat that male at this second to final fight on that last map, but it wasn't able to turn the tide in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great job by Kel, and then, I mean, you can't, I mean, I'm sure you love the flashy highlights, but for a Diva Bomb to get an immortality field sets your team up in just a really solid spot. But it does feel like that, once again, as we saw earlier this week for Boise State, it feels like when that Pharah can come out, which she will have better matchups and better advantages on Escort, Hybrid, 2CP, it felt like North Texas didn't have an answer. So maybe for Boise State, Control just counters Pharah just a bit too hard with how enclosed the points are, how lack of airspace. So maybe Goblin's going to engineer a 3 straight win here for Boise State, because once again that Pharah remains untouched.
Yeah, he did very well on that second map. Once it opened up, he was able to get a lot of advantages. And when North Texas tried to answer with that Echo, he shut him down very quickly. So he played that very well. The Pharmacy just seems to be kind of like their pocket strat that once they get their map, they're able to take that win. But once it gets closed in, Aspect gets on that Symmetra, and he just wins those matchups consistently. Plato was able to kill the North Texan May, but still, Aspect on that Symmetra is a force to be reckoned with once it gets in that close space.
Yeah, I really think that if Boise State can get some maps, which they will be picking here, that favors that Pharmacy, it could be a challenge for North Texas. We will go to Anubis here. As we said, 2CP is the second map in play versus, as opposed to the fourth in some other tournaments. And you do see for now, with North Texas in the blue and Boise State in the red, Hawkins on that Ash might be expecting the Pharah, but Boise State countering with the Hanzo McCree to start things off.
Yeah, Aspect back on this Echo. We're going to see if he's going to be able to get more value this time. Not being countered by the Pharmacy, but this time having to deal with Goblin on the Hanzo. See if Hanzo's going to be able to burn down this double bubble that North Texas has at the moment. Try to rotate over into this side room. We're going to see Double Bubble able to quickly move over much faster than Boise State can move with the Rhine Devo. We're going to see Goblin throw down as many arrows as he can, try to contest Hawkins and Aspect up on this top ledge, especially with Joe being able to heal from so far away. It's going to come down to, can Goblin hit these arrows, especially fighting Aspect on this Echo. Getting close, but with Aspect having this Pocket Mercy, it's surprising that Goblin is hitting these shots, but dies to the Battle Mercy. You love to see Battle Mercies, as the rest of his team is able to actually rotate onto point and throw down the Amplification Matrix. But as the res comes out onto Aspect, Boise State is looking like they're going to have to reset. But Asu is able to pick up a double kill with Kel managing to wipe the Mercy as well. Hawkins swapping over to the Soldier, but is unable to make it there on time. Boise State pulled this back together.
Yeah, it was a great job by Goblin distracting three members for North Texas, allowing the rest of his team to hop right on the point. And we know how snowball a 2CP can be. We'll see if Boise State can use that advantage. So the ults do favor North Texas just a little bit as the final range of the first one online. But Joe will be taken out. Immortality Field does come down from range. Missile's able to take it down. Goblin takes down Missile before Aqua takes him down. The team's now trading back and forth. See the duplicate come out from Aspect, not even going to get close to that shatter. Now he has to be careful as he'll be taken out. Unfortunately for Boise State, the defenders are going to respawn fast enough, but they're just walking into their own death. Joe will commit the Immortality Field. There's a final rage being used by Aquas. We'll get a Diva Bomb and a Deadeye for Boise State. They've already got 2 points down. Nice boot just to try and body block the point here for Boise State. You've got to be careful though as Kel is taken out of the mech. North Texas is just kind of committing time after time again with low health. Sound barrier to cancel the counter out the grab from Alias. Boise State almost going to be able to pick this one up in short order. They need to take down Missile and Aqua, and they're very close to doing so. One man left on the point. Fortunately, North Texas respawning so fast, but they can't get there. And Boise State shows why people hate 2CP and why it's being removed, where they just snowball one win into a map.
Yeah, swapping over to that Lucio definitely gave them the speed advantage that they could just roll straight into that second point. And North Texas had to swap off to their dive, essentially, comp, so they can just get on point and contest it for as long as they could, which lost them that ult percentage and lost them a possible stall there for as long as they could. But as we saw towards the tail end of that, Asu got a triple there, and he did the same thing on the first point. He's doing so well in this Baptiste, on top of keeping his teammates alive. So, especially after getting MVP in that Genji League, he is doing very well tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to see what North Texas wants to counter with. They will go pretty standard. Boise State will answer with almost exactly what North Texas did, though we do see the Symmetra instead of the Echo. We'll be curious to see if Goblin is just using that for a teleporter or if he plans to stay on the Symmetra. But now it's North Texas' turn to see if they can do to Boise State what the Broncos just did to them and kind of roll them in short order.
Yeah, also have to see if Plato's able to get more value than North Texas when they had their Ash, because they just pushed right into point, and that Ash was not able to respond quick enough. We saw Aspect fall to Goblin on that Hanzo very quickly. Yes, they got the res back with the Mercy, but they still ended up losing the fight on point with Kel and Asu and Walk on the Reinhardt sitting on point with Amplification Matrix coming online so quickly. So Asu, once again, getting Amplification Matrix on BAP so quickly, has been a key player. So if they're able to burn down these supports, burn down those shields very quickly, things will look very good for them as we see an early engagement very quickly rotating through North Texas with this Lucio getting the speed that they need, and same with Hawkins playing right next to Orion. We're going to see Goblin on this pharmacy get a quick pick onto the Lucio, and the fire's already taken on the team. Goblin picks up another onto Aspect.
It feels like North Texas does not have an answer for this pharmacy. Plato's going to be able to take down Alias. Now they're going to be able to catch out the remaining members of North Texas, and Boise State will win that first fight. And now you already see a swap over to that Widowmaker for Aspect. He wants to shoot Goblin out of the sky. See how long North Texas is going to commit to that just to counter the Pharah.
Yeah, counter the Pharah and maybe even counter Plato, because he was playing very close to his team, very different from how North Texas played with their Ashe. They had her all the way in the back left, trying to snipe the best she could, whereas Plato's up front throwing the dynamite, trying to get the burn and getting the boops back with his double barrel as well. We see Goblin already raining fire from above, murdering the Lucio right off the bat as well. So already North Texas is down their healer, and they quickly sleep the McCree as well. Barrage coming online. We see Plato with the dynamite, able to take out Joe as well with no supports. North Texas is going to have to back off, losing their McCree as well.
Nobody for North Texas was ready for that flank from Goblin on the far. We saw Aspect now on that Tracer. Might want to go back to the Widowmaker because Goblin just absolutely picked apart the back line of North Texas. See if he can do it again as the mean and green will wait. Now they'll push together. You got to go into a rocket barrage, and this could be an awful space to be. Great job soaking majority of it to take down the Immortality field, but Hawkins will go down as well. A nice flame strike from Aqua does take him down. Aqua pick up his second kill now onto AC to prevent the res. Unfortunately, it's Plato's turn to shine. He's got Bob available. He's already got 2 kills in this fight. He'll use the dynamite. He'll put some ticking damage on Alias and Missile. They are both incredibly low. Missile will be taken out thanks to a primal rage. The mech will go down as well. And Plato absolutely popping off right now. Another dynamite. He's put a ton of that chip damage onto North Texas.
Yeah, we saw for a minute Hawkins try to contest Plato for a little bit, getting a little bit of poke damage onto him, but he's quickly able to just back off as Asu pops his Valkyrie, healing up his teammates. Plato just nailing these dynamites left and right. Bob is able to get a kill onto the Lucio as Plato then takes out the Immortality field and gets a flying shot onto the Bab as well. Plato really shining, as you mentioned earlier, as Kel is able to eliminate that Diva. North Texas is not able to push past these 2 DPS players from Boise State.
Yeah, they're going to commit so many resources to Goblin because he's the one out in the open more that they're going to struggle finding Plato. We see a pulse bomb come out from Aspect. He's not going to find anything, and he'll be taken out. There's only 60 seconds left, and North Texas hasn't even gotten a pinky toe onto the point. So they're going to wait to regroup. They're going to get right up in the face of Goblin with Alias, but he will have to retreat back down. They do have Sound Barrier and an Ant Matrix, so this could be the best chance here for North Texas. Boise only has 2 ultimates, but they're close to the Rocket Barrage. There's the Nano. Grab's going to go out as well. Sound Barrier for Missile, but a 5-man ante lands from a large bagel. Now it fades, but unfortunately, when you have an ante and a grab, there's not a thing you could do. Boise State's going to pick up the team kill here, and the Broncos should be set up to tie this series at 1 aside.
Yeah, I'm confused there. I don't know why North Texas would throw that in their amplification matrix. It seems like we're back in the Genji League with the panic ults coming out right before you die. Or North Texas is simply just going to end up giving this round to Boise State as they are swapping over to the dive to just try to get on point as quickly as they can, see if they can pull this back, as Block still having Primal Rage as well. And Plato just now getting Bob online with Asu quickly behind with the Valk. We're going to see the dive bomb try to come out for the side of North Texas. Yes, it gets no one. Plato throws down Bob. Bob is able to take out Aspect on the Tracer. Then Plato quickly is able to take out Aqua on that Wrecking Ball. Goblin's then going to take out the Lucio, and it seems they just stalled them out enough. North Texas is not able to even cap the first point.
Well, you don't want to miss this 3v3 Overwatch Showdown presented by the Idaho Army National Guard. Broadcast live from the Boise State Esports Arena. It's a perfect opportunity to win some prizes, shatter your friends, and ask the Army National Guard about how they can help you get an education in gaming and interactive media, with the finals held live on Saturday, April 16th. Boise State and North Texas tied at 1 apiece here in this best-of-5 play versus showdown between a pair of first-place teams. So now we'll turn it into basically a mini best-of-3 to see the first team to get 2 wins. And you have to wonder, Brenner, if you're North Texas, if you don't have an answer for that Pharah, do you really stand a chance in this matchup? Because Goblin will more than happily play that on Hybrid and Escort.
Yeah, we saw Alias tried his best on that Diva to counter Goblin on the Hafar the best he could, but even when he dove him with Defense Matrix up, he flew right past him, and Goblin was able to eliminate their McCree through the bubble, through the Defense Matrix, through it all. So you have to wonder, okay, how much do you want to commit to counter Goblin, but then you leave Plato right out in the open because you're not willing to commit to, say, the Widowmaker, who could easily take out both if she's hitting her shots. So North Texas definitely has to bring it back or simply choose a map that doesn't allow Pharah whatsoever. But you have to think, at the same time, Boise State still plays a very good comp without the Pharah.
Yeah, and unfortunately for both Hybrid and Escort, they're really, I mean, there's maps where there's, you know, certain areas that can limit the Pharah's advantage, but those maps are usually so open that, I mean, you kind of be hard-pressed if you're North Texas to find a map where you can really get away from that Pharah. So, I mean, we saw Aspect at one point. He picked up the Widowmaker. I don't know if he even took a single shot and then immediately swapped over the Tracer, so maybe that's something that they have to make in terms of an adjustment. But right now, we're seeing, you know, kind of deja vu, different team, but still that inability to counter the Pharah is what will put Boise State in a position that makes them feel like they have a great hold on this series as we go to map number 3.
Yeah, another issue we saw consistently from North Texas was Aspect was changing his hero a lot and losing that ult percentage, whereas Boise State almost never swapped, and they consistently got their ults, not even just from dealing a lot of damage or doing their role passively, whereas North Texas just kept swapping and kept losing it. So not having ults, that's how you win team fights. And even when they did have their ults, they weren't making the difference because Boise State could easily just out-ult them. So as we headed over to this next map, we're going to see Boise State still bring out Plato on that Ashe. Asu looks like he's going to be hovering as well, and Goblin is on the Symmetra. So we're going to see the double bubble come out from Boise State as North Texas is also on double bubble.
Yeah, a bit of a mirror here, really actually a full mirror now. So we'll see who is the better team in this mirror. Squawk will go jumping in with Boise State on the attack first. Getting through this underneath portion of the first point can be very tricky. Hawking gets the first elimination onto Jesus. Guac will be taken out as well, and it's a great start for North Texas, and that payload's getting into a very dangerous spot where we've seen a lot of teams stall out.
Yeah, it seems Hawkins is finally beginning to hit his shots as he then gets taken out by Plato's Dynamite. Plato's Dynamite has definitely been a force to be reckoned with how much tick damage it has gotten to him in this matchup.
He has been absolutely insane with that Dynamite. As Guac will go jumping in once again. The bubble will fade, and he'll be forced to retreat. He'll just start to push the payload as Plato's looking for a shot, can't find it. Looks like he's going to just shotgun blast over, and North Texas will give up the high ground to Boise State. Dynamite will miss, however, as Aqua takes a ton of damage before being forced to retreat. It looked like Hawkins with the first ult of the game at 92% on that Jedi. Could be something Boise has to be careful for. It's Plato. Shotgun blast right into the enemy team. Throws out some Dynamite. Guac will go down again. Battle between Ashe and Tracer not going to go his way, and Hawkins gets one more. And unfortunately for Boise State, this team fight not going their way either.
Yeah, North Texas had to commit their nano boost as well and didn't even get a kill with it, sadly. So they committed an ult to that fight just to stay alive in it. And Boise State still with only one teammate on the cart, still making progress no matter what, as both of North Texas is on that right side of the map. Guac dives right in and committed the nano boost, and now they have 4 ults up. We're going to see the grab come out. Asu is able to get a double with Kel also eliminating the enemy's Zarya. Asu then makes it a triple with a large bagel, taking out Hawkins on that McCree. North Texas is not able to just withstand this Boise State aggression right now, as we see Guac immediately find out Aspect on this Tracer, corner camping the health back.
Yeah, fortunately for North Texas, Kel beat Alias to the grab by about 20% or so, and that made that fight almost impossible. Now it's North Texas's turn. They have the grab. They also have a Deadeye they can combo with it. They also have a Primal Rage, several ults to choose from, including the rally if things start to go south. Plato will assume the high ground, and Boise State looking to try and keep North Texas in their spawn and really delay how much value that grab can get as Plato is forced to drop off, nearly dying.
Yeah, Alias actually hitting his right-click bombs pretty consistently as we see Plato just execute Aspect on the Slept Tracer. Him and Large Bagel definitely been a good force to be reckoned with, the two snipers of the comp. We did see Asu pop the rally to keep his teammates alive. We're going to see the enemy break able to hit Kel as Plato gets a kill with Bob on the Hawkins. So Boise State able to trade very consistently. Large Bagel does end up falling to Aqua, and then Aqua able to making it a double, taking out Goblin. We did see Kel pick up 1 kill as well. Hawkins able to take out Guac. Hawkins very low, does finally manage to get some healing. Aspect putting as much damage on Plato as he can, pushing Boise State back for the reset.
Well, dynamite value, but a great pulse bomb takes out a large bagel, and an anti lands onto Plato, and Boise State will start to lose some members. Looks like they're just going to retreat. They do have a grab up, but there's not much follow up, and Hawkins still sitting on that Deadeye, has not used it, despite it being up for the last few minutes.
Yeah, Aspect even did use his pulse bomb before, even during the reset, before Plato died, so they kind of just panic wasted that, if anything, because he wasn't able to secure almost any damage, but they must have used it as a zoning component. But Boise State was already backing off. A great anti coming out onto Plato, making him back off. So we see Hawkins get a double kill with his Deadeye as well, making Boise State reset. They do have the grab. Bob almost online. Goblin has his pulse bomb now. Nano Boost just coming online as well, but North Texas also has their rally and their nano with Primal just behind.
I do like North Texas grabbing this high ground, making it very hard for Plato to push through. Feel the spam coming on him. He's trying to get to Bob to make this a full fight. As a pulse bomb will come out from Goblin. He's not able to find anything. Sleep does land on the missile, though. We are going to see Aqua down at the very bottom. He gets Nano to full health. Is going to be able to have that Primal Rage online as Aspect with a great flank takes down Plato. Another great pulse bomb from Aspect takes down Asu. And Boise State now has to reset again, committing just their Nano in that fight, but nothing more.
Yeah, Aspect with that amazing play, able to take out 3 members of Boise State on that rotation, just all of the squishies. I think North Texas is finally respecting Plato on this Ashe and is targeting her, and it's working out for them very well.
And the high ground just makes that grab almost useless from Kel. Boise State's going to have to force them off the high ground first, and they only have a minute left to take a fight. As you see Goblin now on that Widowmaker. Primal Rage going to be popped. Both rallies will be used as well as a Bob. Looks like North Texas has gone off the high ground, but Aqua will get the first eliminations on to Goblin. Boise State needs a grab. They're going to be able to find 3 members of North Texas. They will take down Joe, Hawkins, and Missile all in a row. A Primal Rage from Aqua will come out. Anti lands on to Aspect. Now Alias is very close to his own grab. He's going to commit it, but there's only him and Aqua alive on the team. A huge misplay by Alias is going to take that powerful ult off the table and allow Boise State to 2-cap. Now they don't have to worry about grab for a short time.
Yeah, you have to wonder if they were panic ulting or if that was simple misplay, or they're going to swap off Zarya here, because Boise State played that so well. And we're going to see Goblin swap over to the Reaper, something we haven't seen at all, which I'm very happy to see, because gotta love Reaper, especially after they just buffed his damage.
We've not seen many Reapers at all. I think Boise State Orange has pulled it out once. We will see their game in the NECC after the conclusion of this one, taking on Johnson and Wales. But right now it's Boise State Blue and North Texas. There is a Nano up for Joe. We'll see if he wants to use it. Hawkins will swap back to the McCree. Nano is going to go on the Guac for Boise State. They're going to get an anti on to Aqua, but another fantastic pulse bomb from Aspect to take down Asu. That's probably going to force Boise State to retreat. They did get the Nano out of Joe, so they did trade 2 ultimates for 1. They are going to lose the fight, and they're starting to run out of time, but Aspect takes a shotgun blast to the face and dies to the dynamite tip.
Yeah, Aspect has really focused down his priority onto Plato on this Ashe and has really been causing him some problems. Yes, he did lose his life there, but for most of that fight, Plato could not deal damage on those tanks or the other damages. He had to focus on Aspect, and Aspect on top of that still got his pulse bomb off onto a large bagel when he was playing that on him. But we're going to see him swap over to the Bab as Goblin is able to take out Joe on that Baptiste.
Boise State, just 30 seconds left. Rally's going to come out. Now they're going to take down Aqua. There's no tank available. Now Missile will go down, so will Hawkins. And Boise State is going to just body block in the spawn. Took a little bit longer than 2 CP, but Boise State is able to 3-cap, but only 20 seconds does mean there's a chance for North Texas they have a dominating round to be favored here in overtime.
Yeah, and Goblin did very well on that Reaper as well, able to just stay in the face of North Texas and keep them back, able to burn down those tanks just that much quicker. And after swapping off some of those roles as well, they did cost some ult percentage, but it worked out better for them because once you get past that final point, it's a lot more open. I'm surprised Boise State didn't even go for a pharmacy there because they could just rain hell down onto that North Texas team. But they didn't need it, and even with 20 seconds left, I think they're feeling comfortable here.
Yeah, I was shocked that Boise State opted to stay away from the pharmacy. But once again, it was Plato who absolutely came out on fire on that Ash. And we'll now see North Texas set up with a similar comp to Boise State, though they have put the Mercy in, I guess, to boost Hawkins' damage. Meanwhile, Boise State, at least for now, has the Symmetra. We'll see if Goblin plans on keeping that full time, or if it's more of a scouting tool. I think he might plan on keeping it and trying to shut down North Texas. We've seen Boise State pull out this comp right underneath that little archway there. The camera just panned over is where that Symmetra can get so much value, and Boise State can just stall out teams for minutes at a time.
Yeah, Sombra hacking that health pack can buy Boise State a lot of time, even if they do manage to lose a healer there. Then North Texas, where that Symmetra might be able to even clear them out, assuming they don't go for her turrets and just let her beam charge up. So this will be a very interesting as we see Aqua jump right up top and the teleporter go right above them. And with Boise State having the Mei as well, they are very close-knit playing in that side room, and they are able to burn down Aqua so quickly as we see Hawkins able to then get a counter pick onto Goblin on the Sombra.
Boise State's trying to get this close hold here. A great Mei wall will stop some of that damage. Now the Broncos will come out, putting a decent amount of damage onto Alias, as he now is the target. He doesn't have a healer. The Large Bagel's able to pick up that elimination. Now they want to change their sights here. It's a great stun. Lands on the multiple members of Boise State, but no one will be taken out as a great immortality from Asu keeps them alive. This will be taken out, but Guac will go down. There's an anti onto Plato, who's now on that Mei. With the Cryo Freeze available, should not have to worry too much. Aqua will get hacked, but he was able to get the Primal Rage off before that came out. And there's that Cryo Freeze as Asu gets taken down. Kel gets taken out of the mech, and it looks like this close hold for Boise State burned about a minute off the clock.
Yeah, close hold worked, bought them just enough time as Miskell gets the final double kill on his Brig. We're going to see Hawkins also with the Deadeye and Joe with the Nano, possible combo coming out if he is able to land those shots. But Boise State with both the Rhine and the D.Va, I don't think that's going to happen, especially with Goblin still hovering this Sombra, waiting for the hack to come out, but Aspect gets burned down by Asu as they come right from underneath onto the payload.
This right here is what I was talking about. Boise State has, in a few games so far this semester, shut teams down right underneath this bridge. It's so hard to push out of, especially when you all have to jump down. That's going to be a huge EMP value for Goblin, who drops incredibly low, is able to get that health pack, though, but still taking a ton of damage. Now we see the commit, but Goblin's taken out, so no EMP for this fight for Boise State. Great Mei wall, though. Going to catch Aqua on the wrong side. We're going to get a Blizzard to come down. A grab will come out as well as a Nano and a Deadeye are used. Unfortunately, even through the sound barrier, a Large Bagel will be taken out. There's an Ant Matrix coming down from Asu. Azaleas will go down. Kel gets antied. Is going to be forced out of the mech, but Boise State is going to trade 3 for 2. And that's going to prevent North Texas from pushing. There's a 3-man EMP onto the final remaining members as Goblin does get taken out. And North Texas now down to just a minute and a half, but a Primal Rage does allow Aqua to stay alive, and Boise State starting to run out of time. Now Asu will be taken out, and looks like Aqua's actually going to be able to survive this. This should allow North Texas to push, but I bet you the Broncos get one more recontest before a first point.
Yeah, and I definitely got to hand it to Goblin there. Kind of wasting the EMP there, but he had to swap over to the Reaper with especially how close to the payload they were playing. I think it is a great play that them. And for this coming final fight, they're going to have Blizzard and Self-Destruct versus North Texas. All they have is Rally at the moment. They might just be able to farm Deadeye in time, but I don't think that'll be able to help them win the fight, as he's only been able to secure about 1 kill with it every single time. Cryo does come out from Plato on the Mei. He does throw down the Blizzard, able to cap no members out. We're going to see a Large Bagel fighting Aspect in the back for as long as he can, but Kel and Goblin able to take out 2 members of North Texas. Seems that North Texas is going to have to retreat here after losing Aspect as well.
And they committed the rally, so the only ults North Texas is going to have for this final fight will be the Deadeye and the Nano. Missile will swap over to the Mercy.
Still have the Pulse Bomb as well from Aspect on that end. See if he'll be able to take out a Large Bagel again with it.
Nano will also swap over to the Tracer. Final chance here to keep this game going. There's a Diva Bomb from Kel. It's going to shut down Hawkins. No Deadeye is going to be available for this last fight for North Texas. We'll see if they want to retreat. They actually get the revive off, and there's that pulse bomb onto Ace that we were talking about. And Boise State's going to lose Goblin and Plato as well, so unfortunately, despite the first pick, does look like Boise State might be running out of resources, but now the tank line of Guac and Kel get a triple kill. Large Bagel falls. It's a 3-on-3 here on the point with time expiring. There's a Primal Rage available for Aqua, but now Boise State will lose both Guac and Kel here in short order. A solo grab onto Asu just to make sure that he's able to be taken out. Plato's trying to stall as long as he can, as well as the Baby Diva. Kel does finally get taken out, but Boise State is in full stall. They bought enough time for a Large Bagel to get back, but a Deadeye and a Primal Rage will do just enough here for it looks like North Texas to get a time extension. A 3-man ante's not even going to be enough as Boise State's just full stalling right now. Plato will be taken out. One more elimination on the Guac should be enough, and North Texas will get that 2.5 minutes back on the clock.
Yeah, Boise State at the start of that fight playing two separate out there. We saw Goblin teleport behind, jump right on the Ana, and get slept immediately, allowing his team to rotate around and take him out. Only was at 50% to the Beyblade as well. So, did not start that off very well. Boise State able to stall for as much time as they could, but North Texas still able to win that fight. Committed even the solo grab, as you mentioned, onto Asu, but North Texas takes it, and now coming into this next team fight, we're going to see the Beyblade come out from Goblin, the Pulse Bomb come out from Plato, able to take out Alias as well. Seems Boise State is doing well in this fight, able to block, take out Hawkins, and then collapse with a Large Bagel onto Aqua. So Boise State takes this first fight, but had to commit a couple ults to it, whereas North Texas didn't even commit one, and now they have 3 coming into this next fight, almost 4 with Nano right behind.
Alias is going to swap off Cesaria, despite being over 50% to that grab. He's going to go on to the Diva now as Aspect tried for the Pulse Bomb, wasn't able to find anything, so that's one ult taken out. Hawkins will also swap over to the Ash, so a pair of ults that were decently close to North Texas will be thrown away. Nano is going to go out onto Goblin. Boise State wants that Death Blossom back. Primal Rage will be used by Guac to heal up the fullest. Hawkins takes down Plato. Guac with some time left, wants to jump in, trying to get a pick onto a healer, not able to find one, forced to jump away. And now Boise State, with just over a minute left, has Guac re-engage once again to put down the shield. Takes an anti to the face. Diva Bomb from Kel's not able to find anything, and a rally will come out from Asu as Boise State forces North Texas down onto the low ground. Goblin with a headshot onto Aspect. Valkyrie has been popped there by Missile. We'll see if he's able to get a res onto that Tracer. Boise State can punish him as Aqua is dropping low. Joe will be taken out by Guac. He's just jumping on that back line. There's that revival onto the Tracer, but they're still down a member, and Alias and Aqua are both incredibly low without that second support alive. Primal Rage popped by Aqua to heal back up to full. But only 20 seconds left here for North Texas, and Boise State looks to be winning this fight as Alias will be forced out of the mech and be using the Diva Bomb there just to reset HP. Death Blossom comes out, Goblin takes down the Baby Diva, Hawkins goes down as well, and North Texas unfortunately running out of time as they'll get one back, a double anti-lands, but they can't get much more, and it's just Missile and Hawkins versus the world.
Yeah, Joe tried his best. He was able to sleep the Nano Goblin on that Reaper twice, no doubt. But Guac was just able to disrupt so much on those rotations and cause so much havoc that a Large Bagel even nanoed him at a point after North Texas even dropped the Diva Bomb. So kudos to Guac to just be able to disrupt for that long without North Texas even addressing him.
Yeah, North Texas, I mean, it did not seem like they had a great answer to Boise State. Did feel like Boise State sometimes had some fights where they overcommitted, but they just, that minute stall at the very start with the close hold, and they kind of burned another minute and a half underneath that bridge. Just North Texas just did not have as much time as Boise State had. So the Broncos pick up the victory. Now the Broncos are one game away from picking up the W here and breaking their first place tie with North Texas here in the Play Versus series. It looks like we will be moving on to hybrid now. I'll be curious to see what North Texas has in mind, and if they pick something like Kings Row, it would not shock me if Goblin immediately locks in that Pharah and just absolutely rains hell from above.
Yeah, it's definitely been the pocket pick for our Boise State team, and I'm curious if on Kings Row, North Texas has their own pocket pick to even counter, because we haven't seen them do that yet. And even when Goblin wasn't able to get value on that Pharah, on that first control point that we saw very early on in this matchup, they were able to just roll together as a team consistently. And as we look at this quick highlight of Playo under this first point, as they were able to stall for as long as they could, pushing and attacking, Asu getting the double kill on the Brig. Asu on this Brig, once again, getting a ton of value. When they rallied against each other, he was consistently winning those fights. So you have to ask, all right, so what can North Texas do? Come more closely together, maybe not overcommit. We saw the solo grab come onto Asu again when they were stalling. So North Texas really got to pull this back. And as you mentioned very early on, this is a best of 5. So fatigue has to be setting in. You have to be able to sit here for these long matches and win them. And it seems that Boise State stalling them out as long as they did, fatigue should be setting in.
Yeah, not a lot of best of 5s. A lot of tournaments have changed over to that best of 3 format, including the NECC, which is coming up next for Boise State Orange versus Johnson and Wales. But, I mean, you think about the hybrid maps here that North Texas could pick. There's always Kings Row. There's Blizzard World. There's, Eichenwald, all of which have sections of the map that would make it more difficult for the Farah, but all have very wide open portions as well. So I'd be curious to see what North Texas has in mind. I mean, because we've seen Boise State pull out the Farah in small doses, and it has absolutely ripped through North Texas, and I think it's something that Boise State almost has up their sleeve as like a threat, where North Texas, they have to come out in a comp that's like, okay, we have to prepare to counter the Farah and still have a champion or a hero that we are confident in if the Farah is not there. So it's a lot of mind games that right now North Texas just hasn't been able to deal with.
Yeah, Hawkins seems pretty confident with McCree, and that's what he's been sticking with most of the time. Whereas Aspect has constantly been changing heroes, losing that ult percentage, which definitely lost them Temple of Anubis. So you have to think, all right, we need Aspect to just nail down a hero and able to counter Goblin on this Farah, as we see already. Like you said, they instant lock it in. So now we're going to see Hawkins take over the main and Aspect go over to the McCree. Will this be the change that really helps him? As we see Plato then switch over to the McCree as well. And now Asu back on this Baptiste has been a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that Aspect and Hawkins have switched, as Aspect found something on that Tracer with consistent pulse bomb damage and pulse bomb kills, but he's now on that McCree, so the pressure is on him. Be able to shoot Goblin out of the sky. Goblin already taking a bit of damage, but healed up by a large Bagel who's now on the Mercy. And it's going to be a job of Hawkins or Aspect to probably take down a large Bagel first, as Plato's now looking for a flank. He's going to find one on to Aspect. That's going to clear the sky. They're also going to land a double stun onto Missile and Alias, who's forced out of the mech. Immortality Field goes down. Baby Diva will be taken out. Immortality Field's the only thing keeping Guac alive in the Battle of the Reinhardts. And Boise stay with an early win, a great flank by Plato, and that should be the payload. We'll see if North Texas wants to recontest here, but I don't think they're going to get there in time.
Yeah, already in that first fight, we saw Goblin and Plato take out the first 2 DPSs. Goblin got a triple, Plato got a triple as well. They just cleaned that fight up very nicely. And it seems Hawkins and Aspect really got to come online here as the 2 DPS players. They got to somehow contest that far in the sky and deal with the McCree. We saw him immediately flank around and take out Aspect. So that was not very good. We see Goblin brings out the barrage, able to pick up Aqua, yet falls to miscall on the Lucio as Joe on this Baptiste is able to take out Asu. We saw them commit the amplification matrix on both sides during that team fight. Deadeye came out as well, yet no kills came out. We're going to see a large Bagel able to get the res onto Asu as well. Aspect with his Deadeye is able to take out a large Bagel there, with Lucio taking out Kel on the Diva and Hawkins taking out Asu. It seems once this fight got right underneath the archway, North Texas had an answer to Boise State.
Yeah, unfortunately, only the solo rocket barrage that we saw Guac. He went charging in, and if he found a target, it might have been a different story, but he got taken so low, he had a hide over there in the corner at just 100 HP, and he didn't have a support in his range. The Valkyrie will be used here by a large Bagel. There's a Diva Bomb up as well. Both Shatters are online. Shatter number 1 comes out. How about Shatter number 2? It's on to all 6 members. Immortality Field's not going to matter. Missile misses on the Sound Barrier. Plato and Goblin will simply clean up. The better Reinhardt wins that one as Guac gets 6, Aqua gets 0, and Boise State gets the easy fight.
Once again, Boise State's team play counters North Texas at every turn so far. North Texas needs to pull it together here, especially after losing that Shatter. They're going to have to play around this Blizzard and self-destruct if they even want to try to contest this, which they simply, I don't think, have time. They're not close enough, and without that Lucio, they don't have the speed boost to get there in time. So they're going to have to back off as Plato pops his Deadeye just as a zoning.
Aqua got forced off as well, which is going to delay his next shatter, which could be his last of the game, the way Boise State has been pushing. Goblin's got a rocket barrage, kind of gives his position away though, and Alias will do a lot of damage, but Hawkins will get taken out with that Blizzard online. Unfortunately for Boise State, the payload not cooperating, just not pushing fast enough for them to win off that one pick. As they're waiting, nice dynamite lands on the Goblin, so he's forced to retreat. And Boise State now just waiting for an opportunity to wrap this one up.
Yeah, once again, we see Aspect swapping heroes, trying to counter this Pharah, but maybe swapping too often and just losing that ult percentage. We are going to see the Blizzard come out from North Texas and able to freeze 2 members, and Kel with the self-destruct able to take out the Lucio, but we're going to see a double kill come out from Joe and the Baptiste onto both tanks, and then Asu take out Hawken. We're going to see the Mercy Res come out onto Guak as well with no contestation whatsoever, and now Kel just in the face of the North Texas team, with Plato even getting the Deadeye off onto Alias. It seems this is a Boise State win with even 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough time for North Texas to match. And we have talked about Boise State's unique strategy defensively on Kings Row that we'll see if the Mean and Green have the answer to. This is play versus a battle of first place teams in the regular season between the Broncos Blue Squad and North Texas. As we mentioned, Boise State Orange in the NECC versus Johnson and Wales will be coming up after this match concludes. And right now, North Texas not only needs to 3-cap Brenner, they need to have enough time on the clock to give them a chance in overtime. And that's going to be if they get the first point in time, because Boise State has stalled out several teams on this first point with their defensive play in the last few weeks.
Yeah, and we saw the perfect example of that on Temple of Nuvis. They were just able to roll them over, and then as soon as they had to defend, they never even got the first point. So we know they can defend this, and especially with their unique defense strat, it's going to work, especially with this pharmacy rather than the typical Hanzo that we see from this Boise State defense. So now with North Texas attack, we're seeing something actually a little bit new. We're seeing Alias on a Roadhog. So maybe a possible hook on this Pharah, just throw it up in the sky and see if you can get something, because it seems like North Texas is just grabbing at straws at this point.
2 members still looking to lock in. Ooh, Aspect. Oh, maybe. Oh, never mind. I thought, oh,
Possible
maybe.
counter pharmacy coming out here. Hawkins returning back to the McCree, which I do enjoy seeing. Hawkins did much better than Aspect with this McCree. It's kind of been his comfort pick here. Sealfil be able to counter this pharmacy and Torbjorn this time around.
Curious to see how Aspect and Missile will do, especially into those Torbjorn turrets, as Asu's already taken low. Looks like we are going to get a bit of a flank here by the side of North Texas. They're going to walk right into Goblin spam. They are going to get an defense matrix, though, to eat a lot of that damage. Now Goblin going to try and find some damage, almost impossible to be able to pick out the opposing pharmacy. He takes down the Immortality field first. Does look like Walk will be taken out. He is the lone point holder, so Boise State's got to be careful as Joe and Alias are taken out of the mech. Aspect will be taken down by Asu with the headshot. Kel loses the mech, but with Hawkins and Alias both going down, it's just 1 tick for North Texas and nothing more.
Battle Mercy coming out, contesting Goblin as long as they can, and if Goblin did not have his pocket Mercy, Minskull on that Mercy would have won that fight, so I respect him for trying at least, not going down without a fight, but Alias on this D.Va needs to have a response to Goblin. He is staying on the ground too long with his Reinhardt. You need to be able to break away and contest in the flight. Even if he doesn't have Barrage, it's okay to charge into him with the defense matrix and contest that space, because you're just letting him fly around for free. Yes, he is dropping low to 60 HP, but with that Mercy consistently so close to him, you're not going to be able to contest it whatsoever. We are going to see the Amplification Matrix come out from Asu, and Goblin now has Barrage. We're going to see Misko fall while Valkyrie is still up from Kel. Kel able to contest the North Texas Pharmacy. Take notes, North Texas, because this is how you do it.
And he gets the kill on to Aspect as well, and now North Texas in a very interesting situation. 4 members trapped by the payload. Missile and Aspect both trying to wait to get to the rest of the team, but Goblin going on a rogue mission. He's going to get an empowered rocket barrage. Nobody knew he was there. The only thing that kept him alive was an immortality field. A molten core comes out as well. We'll get a rocket barrage from Aspect. He's only able to get Kel out of the mech. And a great little flank there by Goblin as the teams will trade 3 for 3 overall. With a large bagel staying alive, might be able to get a res, and North Texas now only has a minute and a half left, and Aspect will bail on the far and go over to the Hanzo.
No question. Had they not had that immortality field, that would have been play of the game right there. That was an amazing flank, super stealthy. No one saw him coming, but that D.Va finally did her job and just dove right into him, getting the suicide onto Goblin as well. But now that they're finally on point, they have no answer to the verticality of the Boise State defense. We're going to see Valkyrie come out and the Deadeye come out, but not even able to find the Mercy flying above them. We're going to see the Self-Destruct come out and able to remove the Baptiste. Asu's able to remove Hawkins and Aqua. We're going to see Plato able to remove Alias, as Miskel and Alias are able to get 2 more for their team, but a near team wipe for Boise State here. North Texas only able to get 2 pips on the first point with only 40 seconds remaining. We're going to see Hawkins swap over to the Soldier. Absolute just balls to the wall here trying to counter as far as we're going to see Aspect even go to the Widowmaker. It seems they just simply don't have an answer here as Aspect goes back to McCree. He needs to nail down a single hero here. He's costing his team here.
Final fight here for North Texas. The Supercharger will come down to Guac. Collegiate's going to have the Rocket Barrage. Goblin takes down Hawkins, lives with the great immortality field, but a 5-man shatter comes out from Aqua, and that might be enough to keep North Texas hopes alive. A Molten Core will be used. Unfortunately, Kel is the last one left, and a huge shatter by Aqua is going to be enough for North Texas to stay alive. But once again, time will not be on their side.
Seems finally Aspect on this McCree was able to take out Goblin on the Pharah, and Hawkins was able to output the damage to finally make Boise State back off. Soldier not really in this current meta, but is one of the few perfect heroes to counter Pharmacy, and you can see why. They finally won the point once they pulled him out. And I really applaud North Texas for finally taking a risk and doing something that most people don't.
We'll be able to see if that strategy still continues, as Goblin will stick on the fire, despite there being both a Soldier and a McCree on the side of North Texas. As Joe's taken low, no one has found a first elimination. As I say that, Joe gets taken out. Kel is incredibly low, though, trying to be healed up by a large bagel as Alias gets taken out of the mech, as Goblin unfortunately got a bullet to the head. Hawkins gets one as well onto a large bagel, and Ant Matrix does go down from Asu. There's a D.Va Bomb trying to clear him out as Aspect will be taken out. Missile going to be nailed down by Guac, and it looks like North Texas will be sent back to spawn. So despite the Pharmacy struggling, Boise State still picks up a fight win, and now North Texas only has a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, North Texas should win this next team fight with their 5 ults up now. They did have Miskel swap over to Lucio as well, so they're going a bit more of a speedy team here to try to get onto point and roll over Boise State, even though it just did not work this current time. And they're going to be going into a Valkyrie and almost Deadeye as well. So I'm curious to see how they will play this out with only 50 seconds remaining. Things aren't looking too good for North Texas, but anything is possible here, especially without Goblin having Barrage just yet. He's going to be able to farm it pretty quickly. We're going to hear Deadeye come out from North Texas and Auto Aim coming out for Soldier. We're going to see Valkyrie come out from a large bagel as well, keeping his team alive against the 2 damage ults from North Texas. We're going to hear the Bongo come out as well. Goblin following very low to Aspect on this McCree, who's finally getting his damage down, but Goblin able to get the flanking Soldier as Alias and Aqua are able to take out Asu and Guac. Seems trading is coming back and forth as Goblin finally pops his Barrage and is able to get a double kill onto Joe and Aqua. Back and forth, we're going to see Self-Destruct come out from Alias and get no members of Boise State but the mech of Kel. It is all down to overtime here as Alias is able to take out Plato on this McCree as well. Hawkins gets a double kill onto Goblin and Kel. This Soldier has been all the difference for North Texas as Miskel is able to get the boop onto a large bagel and ends up killing her as well. Guac switches over to the Wrecking Ball for maximum speed to try to counter this overtime. We're going to see double Wrecking Ball on both sides. Guac gets up to 80% on mines, yet it falls and is able to eliminate Guac. North Texas pulls it back together. Yes, they have no chance at beating the time of Boise State, but they're pulling it together. It seems this Soldier 76 was exactly what they needed, as Aspect, same issue, swaps to Widowmaker, and Hawkins goes back to the McCree. You hate to see it because it was working for them so well.
Yeah, I mean, good news for them, though, is that Goblin, with the tighter corridors, has bailed now on that far over to the Ash as the Diva Bomb just takes down Joe's Immortality Field and Alias's mech. That's going to send North Texas retreating. They can only take about 1 or 2 fights here in regulation, and they have a couple of very low members, but Aspect hits a headshot onto Plato, and that's going to open things up a little bit for North Texas.
Yeah, Aspect hitting shots, doing very well, eliminating the Diva mech as well. Guac on this Wrecking Ball, getting a lot of damage, has his mines, but gets eliminated by Hawkins on this McCree right before he takes out Diva as well. The Amplification Matrix is going to come out from North Texas as Alias eliminates a large bagel. Boise State playing kind of a little bit more split, and North Texas bringing it back together. They have the sound barrier as Bob comes out from Goblin as well. Guac still has the mines, and Asu still has his Amplification Matrix.
Just get taken out by Aspect as Alias nearly falls down, is able to pick up Goblin. Does not look like North Texas is going to cap this with any time on the clock, however, but they are in overtime, so Boise State just needs to win 1 fight. There's the start with a boop off the edge onto Alias. The mines also went down. Aspect gets taken out by Kel. Goblin now with a headshot onto missiles. He's onto that Widowmaker. There's a Deadeye from Hawkins. It's a last-ditch effort for the side of North Texas. He's not able to get it. He will be taken out. There's only 1 member left. It's Aqua. Can Alias get to the point in time? The answer is no. North Texas comes oh so close to getting us to overtime, but they can't quite seal the deal. They just did not have enough time from the start, and Boise State pick up the 3-1 series victory over North Texas and remain undefeated in the play versus regular season.
North Texas had a chance. It was in their grasp, but swapping their damages at that final point, I think, is what cost them. They lost that old percentage. Yes, Aspect on that Widowmaker was able to hit some shots, but just not enough. And I think we definitely needed Hawkins still on that Soldier because he was able to output the damage to burn through the shields as well.
Don't forget, you can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Unlock your true talent at esportstower.com. Well, as we wrap up the Broncos 3-1 series win over North Texas, we do have our ICCU Player of the Game to hand out, Brenner. Do you have any nominations? And it probably has got to be Goblin or Plato, so you really have to pick between just 2.
Again, I really want to give it to either Asu and a large bagel as well because they are the backbone to those DPS players. Same with Guac and Kel on the tanks. They did very well keeping that front line. We saw Guac on the Winston on watch point doing very well, able to contest in that final payload push. We saw consistently Goblin on that Hara doing very well, getting a ton of kills and being completely uncontested. When he was on that Reaper, he didn't do as great, but still contested and got some kills. Not as many, but he still did very well. And we saw Asu as well healing up, and Asu's going to be the player of the game as well. And I got to hand it to him. He did very well on that Baptiste, able to get consistent triple kills and keep his team alive while giving Large Bagel all the utility to continuously be on the speed boost so they could roll over North Texas. All in all, they did so well. Hats off to Asu.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to be honest. I think I smell some funny business brewing. I know I've been talking to Not Koba, who said he recently got back into Overwatch. Has been playing a lot of Baptiste. Asu plays a lot of Baptiste. Not Koba's back in production. They get player of the game to Baptiste. I'm on to you, Koba. But, hey, you know what? I'm not going to argue with it. Asu, he is the ICCU player of the game for the Broncos win. ICCU believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like they're helping their members achieve financial success. Asu, player of the game. And Boise State's 3-1 win over North Texas, but a huge shout-out to Plato and Goblin as well as the rest of the Boise State Blue Squad holding it down in making sure Boise State remains undefeated in that play versus tournament. Well, we are not done quite yet. We still have one more matchup here tonight. It is a transition into the NECC, where we'll watch Boise State Orange take on Johnson and Wales. The Orange team trying to battle for that final playoff spot in the NECC, and we'll see if they can get it done against a very talented Johnson and Wales team that just lost to Boise State Blue last week. So you do not want to go anywhere. We've still got more Overwatch coming up next.
So if that is and does make the difference against this North Texas team, I hope we see it come out.
Unable to find it. Unfortunately, that will leave them just trying to find an ult of some kind as an animatrix is up very soon for Joe. And there they go. They get one onto Hawkins. They get a boop off the edge onto Alias. That's going to open things up as the Broncos get one more. Asu will fall off the edge, unfortunately. But that does not matter. Boise State's able to pick up a total of 4 kills. North Texas is just kind of committing time after time again with low health. Sound barrier to cancel the counter out the grab from Alias. Boise State almost going to be able to pick this one up in short order. They need to take down Missile and Aqua, and they're very close to doing so. One man left on the point. Fortunately, North Texas respawning so fast, but they can't get there to get to the rest of the team. But Goblin going on a rogue mission. He's going to get an empowered rocket barrage. Nobody knew he was there. The only thing that kept him alive was an immortality field. A molten core comes out as well. We'll get a rocket barrage from Aspect. He's only able to get Kel out of the mech. And a great little flank there by Goblin as the teams will...
We see Goblin already raining fire from above, murdering the Lucio right off the bat as well. So already North Texas is down their healer, and they quickly sleep the McCree as well. Barrage coming online. We see Plato with the dynamite, able to take out Joe as well with no supports. North Texas is going to have to back off, losing their McCree as well.
A large bagel. There's a Diva Bomb up as well. Both Shatters are online. Shatter number 1 comes out. How about Shatter number 2? It's on to all 6 members. Immortality field's not going to matter. Missile misses on the sound barrier. Plato and Goblin will simply clean up. The better Reinhardt wins that one as Guac gets 6, Akko gets 0, and Boise State gets the easy 5. Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It's our final matchup of the night. We transition over to the NECC when we'll see Boise State Orange, who's battling for one of the final playoff spots in the regular season, taking on Johnson & Wales, who's just ahead of them in the standings. So a win here today would be a huge goal for the Boise State Orange team, who last week pulled off a monumental upset, defeating the number 2 seeded UC Santa Cruz, knocking them down a peg. So you have to believe this Orange team is ready to go, and a lot of members on that team didn't even think that was possible. I know, talking to D'Angelo, that is a big shout out to Beanie Bum, who rallied the team. So we'll see what they do here against Johnson & Wales. Still Fish and Brenner calling all of the action. Back to the best of 3. We will play all 3 maps though, regardless, as map score does matter in the end, Brenner, and it'll be interesting to see, because when you come off a huge upset like Boise State Orange pulled off last week, sometimes there can be that little bit of a letdown where you think, oh yeah, we're all big and ready. So I'd be curious to see how Orange comes out on Control, because they shocked the world last week. Now it's a lesser skilled team, and in the past, Boise State teams of all kinds have struggled when the opponent isn't as skilled as sometimes Boise State gives them credit for.
Yeah, overconfidence can definitely be a huge issue for some of our teams, and that's something you definitely want to keep in mind. And also, since we're playing all 3 maps, I don't think fatigue will set in just as much as the previous match, because that was a best of 5, even though we only did play the 3. So that is another thing to keep in mind. And also how much they're able to just adapt to the enemy team. Because if we're just going to do mirror the whole time, it does come down to who plays it better, what team can play more tightly together. So we're definitely going to have to see how this match plays out.
Yeah, that has been the one criticism of the Orange team so far this semester, is they are the team that, if something goes wrong, if they don't get off to a good start, they will fall back to what they are comfortable on, not what is meta. So that might be a lot of Sombra from Frost. That might be more of the Diva on Quidgible instead of the Zarya. So it is something to watch out for, that this Orange team, if Control starts out poorly, might kind of sandwich themselves on a comp that they feel comfortable on, but isn't always appropriate for the map. So that is something I want to keep an eye on. This Orange team has struggled with that for the last year, where the meta will shift on them, and they will just be a step behind the meta, and they want to play what they're comfortable on. But we will see here. As we said, it's Boise State Orange. It is Johnson & Wales in our final matchup here of the night in the NECC. Both these teams battling for playoff spots. The Orange team right on that last playoff spot. Their win last week was huge. Johnson & Wales, a win here would mean they probably could feel a little bit more comfortable as the regular season winds down to a close. But we will start out on Control. Be curious to see how the Boise State Orange lineup looks. But before we get to that, we will get to Doc's keys. We always talk about an Overwatch never taking a fair fight. What does that mean? Well, it means take fights in unexpected places when they are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. It's all brought to you by Count, whose Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables a personalized customer experience for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. If you want to stay safe online, go check them out at count.com, KOUNT.com for more information. And I'll be curious to see, because we kind of have the established meta from what we've seen from the blue team, Brenner. It's going to be Ryan Diva with the McCree, the May, and then the Baptiste and Lucio, or we might see the double bubble. I'll be curious what Boise State Orange wants to pull out, because it's probably going to be more of that Ryan Diva. I'm just worried about the DPS not leaning to that McCree May that we're seeing a lot of the other teams pull out.
Yeah, another thing that BSU Blue has is Goblin on that Pharah and Large Bagel on the Mercy. They're able to just be that pocket pick. So this Orange team is, even if they do go to comforts, will they be able to merge together? As we see Icy get the first elimination of the game onto the enemy May robe. So already off to a strong start, able to eliminate that quick DPS. And we are going to see Johnson Wales also opt in for the Zarya rather than the Diva. So they are going to be able to counter that of the BSU Orange team.
Yeah, the Boise State Orange team will lose a pair of members. Also have Nerdy in as well. Him and Beanie Bum have been swapping back and forth. So we'll see who plays what map, as Boise State's going to lose 3 more. And now they're going to be walking into a Shatter on the side of Falcon. And it looks like also Johnson & Wales is going to try and hold Boise State in their spawn. The Broncos will dodge the Flame Strike area, opportunity for them to push out. They've got the Ant Matrix available from Pleb if they want to throw it down. Now there's a grab up as well, and Sound Barrier's nowhere in sight. This could be a very dangerous fight. Great Maywall start out from Rogue, but a huge Maywall from Frost is going to block a majority of the damage from that grab, but no Sound Barrier means Boise State's already down 1. Shatter will miss. And Boise State's now going to lose Nerdy as well. Sertal has his own Ant Matrix. It looks like he's going to hold on to it. That Maywall close, but not quite enough to block all that incoming damage.
Yeah, it seems Robe on this May is definitely going to be one of the key players here, as he with that main wall, was able to just overcommit the BSU Orange team. They weren't able to back off, and then the grab came out, and then the amplification matrix came out. So a lot of almost wasted ults as they weren't able to capitalize it, but as soon as the main wall came down, the damage came flowing out, and now Johnson and Way has 3 ults to Boise State's 2.
Boise State close to the sound barrier. Lerman's has it. Both Blizzards will be up, both Deadeyes will be up, and Boise State should have both tank ults up. So we'll see how much patience Boise State wants to execute. Blizzard's going to be the first thing to come down from Frost. There's a Deadeye right on top of it, not able to find anything. Shinobu will also use his own Deadeye right from the top of the May wall, not able to get anything, as Boise State will commit the Immortality Field. Falcon's the only elimination. Robe will go down as well. 2 deaths with Lerman's sound barrier available, and an Ant Matrix comes down from Pleb, but you have to wonder if that was needed.
Yeah, definitely was not there. They were already backing up by the time it was popped. And even Narbles on the McCree jumped in front of it because he knew they were backing off and he had to push up, but then he had to pull back and it was lost there. So that was definitely a wasted ult there. But now at least Nerdy has the drop the beat to counter the grab and the Blizzard that has the... We are going to see the grab come out against 3 members of the BSU Orange team. And we're going to see Falcon able to take out the invulnerability. And then we're going to see... the Zarya able to take out Icy. We're going to see the self-destruct come out, but no value, sadly, for it. And now Johnson Wales still up with their 5 ults, only committing the grab to the fight and still winning.
Yeah, Boise State had the sound barrier into grab, which is exactly the response you want, but they weren't able to keep anyone alive, and now, as you mentioned, Johnson Wales will flip the point. They're going to have 5 ults up. Lerman did get taken out, so Boise State can find a quick pick onto Shinobu or Falcon. There would not be a sound barrier available. But Boise State's only going to have an Ant Matrix and maybe a Deadeye for this final fight as the Broncos will come charging in. They've got to be careful. Shadow's going to go down, land on to 5. Blizzard will follow as well as an Ant Matrix. And Boise State will probably kiss this map goodbye as they will lose 5. Do we have 6? Yes, we do. Grab comes out just for fun, and Johnson and Wales picks up map number 1.
An amazing final team fight for Johnson Wales, having the 5 ults into Boise's 1. It was...
That makes it really easy.
Yeah, it was a sight to behold for sure. They were just throwing everything at him, and there was nothing Boise could do. Great first round by Johnson Wales.
Yeah, I mean, you even saw the grab came out, the second one that Nerdy had a sound barrier for, and there was just, unfortunately for Boise State, nothing you could do. And you mentioned it, Robe's Maywalls have been really impressive. It cut Nerdy off, forcing them to come in, then drop the sound barrier, maybe just a smidge too late. So we right now in Battle of the Maze, and these comps that are basically mirrors has gone to Robe, and we'll see if Boise State has an answer here on map number 2, or if Johnson Wales will win the first map of our series.
Yeah, Robe on this May is definitely going to be something you want to look out for, and Shinobu on this McCree also hitting a lot of his shots. Nico able to burn down the Diva as well. So you have to think, what can the BSU Orange team do to start countering this Johnson and Wales team?
Start with Twitchable eating that Blizzard or that grab as Lerman's taken incredibly low, but Boise State will already commit the Immortality Field. Sertle goes down without committing his. Now we got a battle of May walls. Frost will be forced to use that Cryo Freeze to heal back up to full. Twitchable's going to take down Shinobu. We see Lerman's incredibly low. Nice freeze onto Falcon. And Boise State's going to win this first fight with ease and send the remaining members of Johnson Wales back to spawn.
Yeah, Frost and Icy able to clean up the last 2 members that weren't able to rotate out just in time. Both Mays actually perfectly equal on their ult percentage, but we do see Pleb with the amplification matrix. See if he will be able to hold on to it this time and not get it wasted like they did the first time they had it, and see if that'll be able to actually change the aspect of this fight as they take the high ground for this second upcoming team fight. We do see Deadeye come online with Icy's Shatter close behind and Quintupl's Self-Destruct very close. We're going to see the Amplification Matrix come out, but then the Maywall's going to come and immediately block that. We're going to see Icy able to land a charge onto Lemons, and then Narbles hits the Deadeye onto Falcon. It seems this is Boise State's fight as they get a team wipe in the second team fight.
Boise State committing 3 ultimates that fight, though the good news is that will guarantee that Nerdy's sound barrier will be up for the grab and potentially Blizzard. The Johnson and Wales will combo against Boise State. So that was a huge team fight win. Nerdy was trailing behind by about 10% going into that fight, but it will be available. So if Rogue gets a good Maywall, unfortunately that ain't it, Chief. That's just going to cut off one member. Great Maywall there from Frost. Nerdy's going to slam down the sound barrier right as the grab comes out. Blizzard will come out as well, and Lermans will use his own sound barrier, which will try for themselves. Destruct not able to find anything. Icy's the first member eliminated. Frost will go down as well. Pleb will follow, and unfortunately for Boise State, as all the ults get thrown at the wall, they will lose that fight and be forced back to spawn on a reset, and they've got nothing besides an Ant Matrix in the near future.
Yeah, Quintuple staggered there as well. Dove for the McCree when Zarya's standing right next to him. She was able to bubble him. He flashbanged her, and it just was not good for Quintuple there, as the rest of his team was just taken apart as he dove that McCree. Another team play aspect there. You gotta stick close together. Icy fell super early on in that fight, so now it falls to you as the diva to be the main tank, and she just wasn't there for the rest of her team. So we're gonna see if Boise State Orange is able to rotate through and take it back, as now Johnson Wales has the high ground in the center.
Maybe Boise State, you have the time here. Maybe you bait out a Shatter and a Deadeye as a nice Maywall there from Robe will cut off the team. Darvel's incredibly low. Shatter, though, will miss from Falcon. Maywall tries for the wall ball, not able to find it. As soon as it falls, Icy gets punched to his death. Frost will go down as well. Boise State's going to lose their members, and that's going to allow the ults for Johnson and Wales to just stack up. Quintuple needs a suicide, and he will do just that. But that was a disaster for Boise State as they got one ult out of the way, but now there's one more even closer for Johnson and Wales in the grab.
Yeah, it seems Boise State does not have an answer for Nico on this Zarya, as she got a quad in that fight, is able to just burn Quintuple down so quickly, and has grab without Nerdy having sound barrier. So this next fight could very easily go to Johnson and Wales once they throw down the grab and get even two members of Boise State Orange here, as Boise State just goes immediately for the underneath play, caps it immediately. We do hear Deadeye and the grab come out, and Blizzard comes out. The bloop does happen, but the Deadeye does happen. Narbles falls off. Shinobu does able to get a double kill. But once again, Nico takes out Nerdy Bird, and they win the fight.
The one positive for Boise State is Johnson and Wales all set on that high ground, and then Boise State did actually flip the points, so they're not in danger of losing before they can contest. They will get a full recontest here. Quintuple has swamped over to the Zarya. I doubt he'll get his ult up on his time, but we'll have to see. Ant Matrix goes down from Sertle. Boise State will throw down Immortality Field in their own Ant Matrix on the low ground, trying to line of sight. The members of Johnson Whale, great flame strike, will headshot Sertle. Falcon taken out as well. Overtime here for Boise State. Both teams down a pair of members. Frost will commit the Blizzard. Great main wall there as well. Boise State now flips the point in their favor. They're going to force Johnson and Wales into overtime as Lermans not able to get away. Sertle has swapped over to the Boyer to get back to the point in time. Shatter from Icy will unfortunately miss. He'll miss the pin as well. But a great Maywall is going to trap Falcon on the wrong side. Another grab comes out. Nerdy not close enough to that sound barrier. And that might be the difference as Nico gets another grab in that fight. Nice Maywall there from Frost to try and stall things out. Pleb trying to contest it, but a lack of sound barrier. And Nico just charging these grabs at an incredible speed, I think will be our difference maker here. Boise State's trying for the miracle stall. I don't think they're going to find it. Nerdy will get on to the point, has the sound barrier available if the rest of the team can get there, but isn't going to survive long enough. And Boise State will just keep throwing themselves out, hoping for a miracle, and the point will end. And that is a huge shout out to Nico. Those grabs charged fast, and Boise State just did not have a counter when they needed it the most.
Yeah, they did not respect that Zarya whatsoever. They just burned down through her bubbles, gave her all the charge. We saw the Shatter go right into her bubble and the Rhine Shield get no value. We saw the May Blizzard right as it hit 90%, overcommitted, didn't get anybody when only the two tanks were still alive. So they overcommitted those final two ults, and it did not pay off for them whatsoever.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that it took Quintuple so long to swap over to the Zarya, because when we've seen him play that Zarya, he has been, I don't want to say Nico level, but has been phenomenal Zarya play. So that might be something that Boise State wants to consider. Our next map will be Kings Row. Even if Johnson and Wales wins, we will go to a map number 3. There is no best 2 out of 3 format. They do take map score into consideration in the NECC, so we'll get all 3 maps regardless. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, shattering into the Zarya shield. I mean, she grabbed, and then the next fight grabbed again. You rarely see a Zarya get a grab that often. It's a high power ult for a reason. It takes forever to charge, and Boise State was just feeding charge over like, you know, they were in the grocery aisle and they were buying their favorite breakfast cereal.
And we saw in that final fight when they got grabbed, Icy on that Rhine didn't even block Nico from behind them, which is how she got the double kill in the first place. You were blocking against the Rhine, who swings a hammer and doesn't care about shields whatsoever, and Flame Strike goes through shields. You need to be able to instantly turn around and start blocking that Zarya. You need to prioritize her, seeing as she got that grab so quickly. If you are not respecting the Zarya, she will tear through you like she just did. So huge props to Johnson and Wales for being able to capitalize on that. And it really comes down to Quingible having to swap off that Diva. If as you're going into a Zarya, you are bound to lose that fight unless your team starts capitalizing on it, and they simply weren't.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play the Diva, you have to eat almost every single grab, or at least one or two of them, as we do take a look at some of the highlights. And unfortunately for Boise State, the sound barrier was 1%, I believe, short of coming up in that fight. I don't know if it would have been enough because, as you mentioned, it was a nice job by the two Johnson & Wales tanks being on opposite sides of the grab so that Icy could only block one. But if they have that sound barrier, maybe that makes a difference in that fight because you just cannot, unfortunately, rely on Immortality Field. I thought Boise State played this well. I thought they did a good job of even sneakily capping it later on to allow them for a full recontest. But you're right, they just fed too much charge to Zarya, and very rarely do you see grabs being used. I mean, I think we got 3 grabs in a control map, which is almost unheard of.
Yeah, and we had the same issue with Pleb and these Amplification Matrix. Their robe on the Mei perfectly threw down those walls right on top of it, and he got no value out of it. He was a huge healer for his team, and Nerdy was trying to farm those sound barriers as quick as she could, but simply they could not contest with the enemy healers of Johnson Wales. And we saw there towards the end, they also even swapped over to the Moira to contest even quicker, which is more healing than BAP can provide. So Johnson Wales simply just played better.
Yeah, and in that final replay, I did want to point out, when overtime started against Johnson and Wales, Nico was at 60%. He got 40% ult charge while contesting the point and allowed Johnson and Wales to somehow pull that one off and take control. But we will head to hybrid next. We'll see if Boise State can rally. As we mentioned, this was a Broncos Orange squad that upset the second-place team last week, so they are capable of taking down a squad as talented as Johnson and Wales. They just need to put it all together, and they need to make sure that somebody is keeping track of who has shields on them. They're not just feeding over to that Zarya. Otherwise, Nico will make them pay time and time again. But we will see here on Kings Row what's going to happen, Brenner. Do you think Boise State has any sort of different comp potentially, or do you think that Boise State's just going to try the same thing with maybe a little bit better target focus and maybe hope that something gets eaten by Quingible on that Diva?
I mean, we could see them try to copy something from BSU Blue of their weird defense strat. We could see a pharmacy come out because we haven't really seen an answer from Johnson Wales on their end, especially if they're playing the Zarya. Pharmacy is not the worst idea. Raining fire from above could cause a lot of issues, especially since Zarya has that limited range on her beam in the first place. You could see something like a soldier to get the high speed around. We saw Quingible dive that McCree right next to the Zarya and just not even care when he got bubbled. So that's something you have to be consistently aware of. And here for Johnson Wales, we're going to see them bring in a Hanzo this time rather than Mei. So I'm curious if that'll be a huge difference for the Boise State defense, how they're going to answer to that, because he'll be able to burn through your shields consistently and not be a very tight-knit group. He's going to be flanking. He's going to cause a lot of issues and give the information for his team of where you are. And this time we're going to see Boise State not change anything other than Quingible starting on the Zarya. Hopefully we're going to see a lot of damage come out from him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to track who has the faster ult charge between him and Nico. As it looks like for now, Johnson and Wales will go with the more straightforward approach, trying to put as much damage onto Boise State as possible. Doesn't really look like they're going to go for any high ground attempt here. As a great Maywall will cut off a bit of the team as Frost drops low. Looks like he is going to be forced to commit that cryo freeze there to heal back up the full. Quingible will be the first elimination. Shinobu's going to get that one, and that's the all-go signal here for Johnson and Wales. Immortality Field comes down. It's not going to last very long. Pleb and Nerdy will be both eliminated. Frost gets 1 kill. That's the only thing Boise State's going to get as they're trying to stall out as long as possible. Another cryo freeze comes out from Frost, and Boise State will lose that first fight in short order.
Yeah, that is not something you want to see there, as Johnson and Wales was able to just push right through Boise State. Once they got that first kill, they just surrounded them and were able to quickly eliminate them. We saw Icy off in the hotel room, stun block each other. Both Falcon They just charged right into each other and got stuck. So Icy wasn't even with his team when they began falling. He was off to the side. So Boise State really needs to pull this together, as already they're pushing the payload. We do have Deadeye up, as well as the amplification matrix for Boise State, but Nico already has his grab, whereas Quinjible's only at 40%.
Yeah, that first elimination onto Quidgible set Boise State behind, and this is what I've talked about. It would not shock me if Quidgible gets frustrated, swaps over to that D.Va that he definitely feels more comfortable on. Boise State's going to go into Shatter and grab. There's the grab that's going to come out. There's no sound barrier as an answer. They're going to have to use the Deadeye to just zone them away, and they actually do it off perfectly. As Shinobu gets taken out, great concussive, but Narbles eats a Shatter to the face. Here comes the Dragons through for Robe, and unfortunately a great start for Boise State. Ends up with 4 dead. And make that 5, and Pleb will live long enough for respawns to come in, but they countered the grab, they just didn't counter the Shatter.
Yeah, they countered the grab beautifully, and on top of that, Narbles was able to out-Deadeye Shinobu, so he eliminated him during his Deadeye. But as soon as that happened, they fell apart. They got shattered, they got dragoned, and they just lost that team fight. And already, Johnson Wales is up to the second point with 5:30 remaining.
Pick on to Nerdy. That means that sound barrier is even going to be more delayed. Nico's already up to 62% and climbing incredibly quickly. Boise State will retreat to wait for some respawns as Quidgible will get headshot. He has the grab, and that might be Boise State's lone win condition. As Quidgible will respawn. Boise State did not want to hand over any more alt charge. Now Boise State will come out. Probably one fight left here for Boise State, but they do have the ult advantage. And Matrix will go down. There's a grab that will come out. Double pin's going to land there. Sound barrier from Lerman will cancel all of that. The Shatter will be blocked. Nico already has the grab as well. He'll throw it down. Nerdy 2% away from the sound barrier. Gets in and is able to get it off in time to keep Boise State alive. But they'll need a 3-man Shatter right to the face from Falcon. Shinobu will try and Deadeye, but the Maywall will block some of it. Does end up getting 2 onto Narbles, and Nerdy Quidgible will fall as well. And unfortunately for Boise State, even with all of their ults used except for the Deadeye, Johnson and Wales, space is theirs out just a tad better, and this should be a payload cap with about 4:25 left on the clock. We'll see if anyone can get in range. Icy did for a moment before getting taken out. And Johnson and Wales is going to put an immense amount of pressure on the Boise State Orange team to stay in this game.
Johnson and Wales doing as well as our BSU blue team with that time remaining. They just knew to respect the Zarya. They played so tightly knit as a team. Robe on that Hanzo was able to just burn down the shields. We saw in that final fight during the grab, Aishi's shield even broke, and the only way he stayed alive for that long was Nerdy had to pop down the sound barrier, but then he immediately then got shattered and was the first elimination of that fight. And following that, then Shinobu was able to just Deadeye get the double kill. Johnson and Wales playing slow and steady, and it's winning them this race.
Wait, why did no one tell me the payload now has googly eyes on it?
Because NECC.
It feels like an April Fool's thing to me, but I had no idea. I would be totally
doesn't?
I think it looks fantastic. I was honestly blown away. For Johnson and Wales, they're not going to swap much. They'll put Robe on the Torbjorn. And Boise State will change just a few. They'll go away from that Zarya back to the D.Va, and they'll bring out the Ana, at least for now. We'll see if they get any swaps in the next 10 seconds. But the way Nico's been playing, I don't know if that D.Va into the Zarya is the right call, especially knowing how aggressive and how fast you're going to have to push this payload if you're Boise State. Oh, here we go. This is the Statue of Liberty, Statue of Doom, whatever you want to call it. They want to get that Bastion up on top. They're going to do just that with Johnson and Wales ready for it. It does not appear to be so. Boise State coming out a bit cheesy. And fortunately, they'll get line of sighted. Narbles putting as much damage as he can. Frost take it very low. Johnson and Wales doing their best to counter this strategy. Nico getting absolutely ripped to shreds by that Bastion. I still don't know if anyone on Johnson and Wales knows he's up there. Finally, they find him. He will get burned down, is able to heal himself, does have that pocket mercy as well from Nerdy. And Boise State running the best strategy they have in the tank to try and counter Johnson and Wales, and unfortunately haven't found much. And Matrix going to come down here from Sertle. Tank form close, but Narble's not able to get it, and the Statue of Liberty goes nowhere.
I mean, it was a cheesy strat, and I respect them for trying it. It was something new. It threw Johnson Wales off their game for just a little bit. But with Grav already up being the first ult thrown in this matchup, you have to respect Nico on this Zarya getting these ults this quickly. It's simply just impressive as Nerdy then gets the res off on Pleb. We do see 4 ults on the side of Boise State as Icy does get close to the bongo as well. But Shinobu and Robe just outputting the damage that Boise State hasn't had an answer for. We saw Robe eliminate Narbles on this Bastion so early on. Try number 2, but the teleporter is destroyed so quickly. We're going to see Narbles instead go for the tank and get a cheeky snipe onto Sertle, but immediately then flashbang by Shinobu and taken out by Nico.
We saw the Gravitic Flux committed as well. Boise State only got that 1 elimination. Nerdy will get the res onto Narbles. The double Deadeye puts Icy and Nerdy right back in the spawn. And I don't know about that sound barrier from Lermans. We'll see if Boise State can punish, as Falcon will be taken out by Quidgeable. Frost dropping incredibly low, 3 HP. And a forced retreat from Pleb to get some healing. And Nico, I think, threw another grab out. Finally, this one misses, though. So Boise State will luck out and ends up getting punished there. So a bit of careless ult usage by the side of Johnson and Wales allows Boise State back on this fight. Couple turrets you put up by Frost to poke down Robe and the remaining members of Johnson and Wales. And Boise State should be able to unlock this googly-eyed payload with 1.5 minutes left.
Nearly a team wipe for Boise State. Finally, something goes right. As soon as they eliminate Nico, they just start pushing through and are able to get consistent eliminations. Frost on this Symmetra really came forward for him. And you gotta love the payload. Payload MVP already.
Looks like Clippy, honestly.
Kind of does. And it's a little bit spooky.
It's not.
Feels like I'm playing Totally Accurate Battle Simulator right now.
Boise State could use a good battle right here. They're gonna go for a nice teleporter flank. They have an Ant Matrix and nothing more. And Nerdy is swapped over to the Lucio. Sertle will be taken out. Photon Barrier will go down from Frost. Falcon will go flying past Icy. And Boise State's trying to sandwich the remaining members of Johnson and Wales. Shinobu is taken out. Rogue dropped low, but able to get healed back up to full. Pleb will now drop that Ant Matrix. Boise State has an angle. Falcon and Lerman's both taken out. This should allow Boise State to start buying some of that time back. I don't know if they'll come close to the 4.5 minutes, but they're at least looking good so far, halfway through point 2.
Definitely an interesting spot to put that Ant Matrix behind the payload as the defenders, or the attackers, my bad. So that was interesting, but they won the fight, so kudos to them. They're still behind on time-wise, but Johnson Wales definitely has enough time for a final team fight. They are going into this with triple ult to Boise State's 1. They might be able to farm grab off this fight. We do see the Ant Matrix come out, so they're outputting a lot of damage to make Boise State back off ever so slightly. Narbles with the Deadeye might have to call him out as the 3rd grab of this game already coming out. The Shatter does actually get a kill onto Nerdy with Rogue taking out Narbles and Frost. Falcon's then able to take out Icy, and Nico takes out Quibble, and Shinobu takes out Pleb with a team wipe there for the side of Johnson and Wales.
Unfortunately, Boise State did not have an answer for their answer was the flashbang from Narbles, and he unfortunately could not quite get enough stuns there. So now we'll see if Nerdy can get the sound barrier up for the next grab, as Nico has been charging these incredibly fast. Boise State does have a Deadeye and an Ant Matrix they can throw down. You have to watch out for the Dragons from Robe. We'll see if he holds the Dragon Arrow for the next grab or not, as Nico's already up to 50%. Lerman's close to that sound barrier as well. Boise State will hop on. They take one fight here. They might have another one. Deadeye comes out, but a great Maywall will stop it. The Lamp Matrix down for Pleb, and an Immortality Field will be used. Narbles will Deadeye, and he takes out Lerman's right as that sound barrier comes online, which should open things up for Boise State as they burn down Shinobu as well. Niku trying to get a kill. He'll get burned from behind by Quidgeable and Narbles. Boise State eats a double shatter to the face, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep Falcon or Johnson and Wales from stopping Boise State on the second point. And the Broncos have given themselves a chance here to force us into overtime.
Yeah, the start of the fight was pretty rough for Boise State. They walled off the Rhine so beautifully, but could not capitalize on it as his team was just pixel peeking around that main wall to keep him alive. But then once they realized Nico was above, Quidgeable got behind him, able to burn him down, and then they just started rolling over him. Narble Pulse, once again, got the one kill with the Deadeye, also set him up for success. So Boise State doing very well. Hull and Frost on this maze, able to get consistent walls on Falcon.
Rather is going to come out, and Nerdy will be able to drop the sound barrier down though. Dragons will come through, and the Immortality Field has to be committed. Nerdy will be taken out by the Dragon Strike. Lermans did commit his sound barrier. Interesting choice there, as Narbles was able to pick him. But Icy and Frost both taken out, and Boise State probably needs to opt for a reset here as time's of the essence.
Also, Dragons have googly eyes. Saw that too, didn't know that.
Everything is googly eyes.
I'd hope so. Just keep it that way. Makes the game that much better.
Now we'll see if Nico might have another grab up. He's at 39%. Down here 40. Boise State will probably not have an answer for this grab if it comes out. Both shatters are online. Boise State has the Blizzard as well. There's a two-man shatter that's going to land on the Quitchbull and Pleb. They'll stay alive as the Blizzard does come out. Falcon is taken out. There's a Deadeye and an Ant Matrix going to be used from Johnson and Wales, but they can't find a single kill. Rope now does pick out Nerdy. And Boise State is going to have to win one more fight as they'll drop their own Ant Matrix as the Dragons come through from Robe, and Boise State might be trending in a direction of overtime. It's a nice Shatterland just onto Falcon. He'll get picked off here. Ant Matrix will come out for Pleb once again, and Boise State looking for a pick. Great Maywall there to cut off the team. We'll see if anyone on Johnson Wales is interested in contesting. They will at 0.63 meters. The Turtle Immortality Field gets taken out. Plebs will as well. Narbles is very low. He's got to be careful. Icy looking for a charge, not able to find anything. Shinobu's the first elimination, but Icy goes down as well. Nico falls as the grab lands on top of the payload, and Boise State's able to take down two more members of Johnson and Wales. Defender respawn advantage does mean they're going to be able to keep contesting here. Nico now going to switch over to that Reinhardt as Falcon just spinning around, keeping it overtime. That's not the Diva Bomb you want from Quitchbull. It goes flying off the edge. Lerman drops the sound barrier. There's another Dragon coming through from Rowe. Boise State's just going to run simply out of time here in regulation. We'll see if they're able to end up capping it as Nerdy and Narbles both get taken out. Teams trading back and forth, but with Johnson and Wales respawn so close, Boise State needs a clean team wipe. They need to be able to take out this Wrecking Ball soon, but Falcon's doing a great job line of sighting and just really annoying the side of Boise State. He will drop the minefield right on top of the point. Nerdy's going to have the sound barrier. We'll get it onto four members of Boise State. Solo Shatter lands onto Nico as well. Blizzard comes out from Frost as the full stall's on from Johnson and Wales. It appears Boise State should be able to eventually cap this point, and they will do it and get into overtime, but it's still not looking good for the Broncos.
Yeah, they had to pull out all the stops and able to stall that out and take it from Johnson and Wales. Johnson and Wales stalled amazingly. That Wrecking Ball bought them so much time, even too much. That terrible Diva Bomb was a heartbreak to see as it just fell down the pit. So sad to see that for Quitchbull, but he tried his best and they still won it, so kudos to them.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Diva Bomb's somewhere down here. Fortunately for Boise State, that really good stall. I thought for a moment Johnson and Wales was actually going to get the stall reverse on him. Does mean that Boise State's going to have to hold them without a tick for 4.5 minutes, and the Broncos will get nothing in response. So it is a tall task for Boise State, and Johnson and Wales, and at least for now, looks like they might say, hey, that Statue of Liberty play was cute. Mind if we borrow it?
And modify it with now a Roadhog instead of an Orisa.
You can copy my homework. Just change it up a little bit. We'll see if they commit to it. If they commit to it, Boise State, you have to hope, would be ready for it, as the Broncos have quite the interesting lineup here with Narbles on the Torbjorn, Pleb and Nerdy switching, with Pleb now on the Lucio and Nerdy on the Ana. And we'll see where this teleporter goes for Rogue. Keeping an eye on the head of that statue. There it goes up. Is Boise State ready for it? The answer is no. This time we get a full committal as Rogue will take down Frost. Boise State only left their Bastion up there. Everybody for Johnson and Wales fall through the teleporter. Answer's going to land onto Nico. Pleb getting burned down, barely able to stay alive. The Broncos trying to find some pressure on Shinobu on that Bastion. Quitchbull knowing to be the next target though. Pleb will fall as well. Icy eliminated, and it looks like Boise State not going to face much of a challenge there. Their own strat works against them. Johnson and Wales picks up the win. They'll get the official one, but we still got a map 3 to see if it's a 3-0 or not. Don't forget, you can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Unlock your true talent at esportstower.com. So Johnson and Wales wins the series, Brenner, but we got one more map here. And for Boise State, this could be paramount because, as we mentioned, map score is used as a tiebreaker, and they want to get in the playoffs, so every map matters. So despite the first 2 losses, a win on this 3rd map still means quite a bit for Boise State.
Yeah, sadly, the one time they didn't have the diva they needed the most, because that Statue of Liberty really just played against them.
Yeah.
And they were unable to deal with that Bastion with the rest of the 5 members all pushing them on the ground. They just got overwhelmed. They lost Quidgible on that Zarya very quickly, and then the rest of the team just consistently began to fail. It was a hard thing to see, and Johnson Wells played that very well. They just took the strat and just made it that much better, so you got to respect them for being able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, they did a really good job of sending their Sigma up there to get that pre-shield up for the Bastion to open things up for Shinobu. Boise State really only had the Bastion go up there. Didn't see if it was because the teleporter got destroyed or because Boise State chose not to go up there. So it's a little bit of BM by Johnson and Wales to come out and say, hey, nice strat. Let's show you how it maybe works a little bit more efficiently, but you have to respect the ballsiness on the side of Johnson and Wales. So we will see on our 3rd map here, it will be Escort, what Boise State has up their sleeve. We'll see if Beanie Bum will be in for this map. He has been the 3rd map player for Boise State in the last few weeks, and we'll see if he's able to rally the team at all for at least a 2-1 loss as opposed to a 3-0 loss here in our final map of the night. But right now, unfortunately, not the result Boise State wanted against Johnson and Wales, but a last map win could at least preserve some sense of, hey, we still have a fighting chance for the playoffs, because a 3-0 could put you in a very, very detrimental spot.
Yeah, and especially since score matters so much for this NESS collegiate match, it's definitely helpful if they are able to put up a fight and win this final map. Yes, it will put you to a 2-1 situation, but it's better than a 3-0 situation.
Yep.
So you definitely got to stay strong for this final match, even though you have lost this matchup as a total.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely hopeful to also see Beanie come out and see if the new player is able to keep his team's hopes up and win this final matchup.
Yeah, I know a lot of the players said that Beanie was instrumental in rallying them last week for their upset victory over UC Santa Cruz. So maybe he has something left in the tank. It won't win them the series, but it could at least win them a game. As this is the final match of the night here in the NECC, it's Boise State Orange, it's Johnson and Wales. We're heading to map number 3. Johnson and Wales has already won the series 2-0, but NECC does have all 3 maps played for map score to be taken into account. So we'll see what Boise State 1 has up their sleeve in the Escort pick. At 2, doesn't look like Beanie will be in, so it looks like it will be the same comp for Boise State, and we'll see what answer they have here on Route 66 and if they can find a way to beat Johnson and Wales on this final map.
Yeah, it's looking like they're going to go for a very close first defend, looking out for any members as they immediately counter Shinobu on the roof. Quintuple gets the very quick first elimination, but it looks like Sertle's going to get the immediate res onto him. So now with this double sniper, it looks like Narbles is going to be able to take out Sertle, and Quintuple's going to be able to eliminate Nico very quickly. It seems Boise State is getting on the aggressive here for the defense, eliminating Nico so quickly.
Nobu's already swapped off. Widowmaker not for him. Falca goes down, but Robe gets a headshot onto Narbles. He'll make it a 2nd kill in a row on the Pleb. Quidgible in the Baby Diva form, trying to build up that charge. Should be able to get it. Has to be careful. Robe's looking for a headshot as a revive comes out onto Falcon. Robe's going to get his 3rd kill now. He'll take down Icy. Quidgible's mech. Hey, Robe again. He gets another elimination onto Quidgible, and Robe MVP. And Boise State's close hold buys them a minute, but nothing more.
Yeah, Frost on this May is getting some amazing walls, installing for as long as he can and trying his best, but Robe is just tearing his team apart from behind, and with nobody countering Robe whatsoever, it seems that this might be a pretty solid match for Johnson Wales right now, unless Boise State can have an answer for this Hansa.
Shatter from Falcon is going to land. It'll eliminate Frost, and Boise State will throw down their Ant Matrix, but it will be line-of-sighted majority there by Johnson and Wales in the red. Dragon Strike's going to come through, as well as a Nano's going to land onto Falcon. Valkyrie gets committed as well, as Johnson and Wales wants to capture this first point with relative quickness. As Sertle's going to Battle Mercy down Nerdy. Falcon gets the charging flying pin onto Icy. Boise State, after a couple of quick eliminations, looking for something to go their way, as they're going to lose another fight.
Yeah, they started off that first fight pretty strong, but then they just lost it once Johnson Wales got rolling. We saw Icy at the very start of the fight shatter right into Falcon's shield. He blocked that quite perfectly, and Nico already has his grab up, and Shinobu has the Deadeye. So that combo is very deadly for Boise State as they only have the Deadeye. They're getting close to the self-destruct, but that will not be the counter they need. As right as Frost is about to get Blizzard, he is taken out by Robe. Robe has been such a key player on this map for Johnson Wales as Icy then falls to Shinobu.
Yeah, Boise State even ate the grab. Great job there by Quidgeable to eat the grab from Nico, but it just wasn't enough. I was kind of curious why they double shatter grab there from Johnson Wales. I think one ult would have been enough, but Boise State right now is just trying to find elimination. Narbles will fan the hammer. Going to eat an ante. Finally does take down Lerman, so he'll at least get a solo kill for Boise State, but that appears to be the state of things right now for the Broncos, committing solo kills just to, I'm not sure what, honestly.
This is the Genji lead. It's all about the solo kills.
Yeah, that was maybe just to, you know, get something in the direction for Boise State, but Sertle immediately revived, so that elimination is almost like it never even happened. Boise State will amp Matrix. They'll also throw down the Blizzard as well. Sertle will use the Valkyrie to get out of it, and Narbles will be taken out. They do eliminate Nico, though. But Nerdy Bird will fall, so despite throwing 2 ults, make it 3 at the side of Johnson and Wales. Boise State will lose more members. Quidgeable forced out of the mech. Sertle gets the revive. There's a Deadeye from the high ground. Bang, bang, right in the head for Shinobu. And Boise State will retreat as Shinobu makes it 4 in a row in the kill feed.
Yeah, and Johnson Wales is actually winning this matchup with Robe disconnecting, now coming back. Shinobu really carrying this DPS role as Robe is now reconnected back on this Hanzo. He did lose that ult percentage, but it clearly did not matter as Boise State wasn't even able to capitalize it, with Frost now swapping over to Sombra. Seeing as Shinobu was able to eliminate Narbles while he was dead-eyeing, the Shatter does come out and hit 2 members of Boise State, unable to capitalize it as the Sound Berry does come out to counter the grab. Nerdy falling down to 4 HP with a great anti coming out from Johnson. The double self-destruct does come out for Quidgeable, making it a triple onto Nico afterwards, but the rest of his team just falling down behind him as Shinobu and Falcon just clean up that back line. The Animatrix did come out from Pleb as well, but it did not make a single change in that fight as Johnson Wales has just been cleaning up this Boise State Orange team.
Johnson Wales has not lost a fight since the first minute of this map. Frost trying to get in a cheeky position there, could get a hack onto Sertle. He'll end up picking a hack onto Shinobu and is able to eliminate him. Valkyrie is committed. Falcon Shatter will whiff. See if Frost wants to camp the body of Shinobu to prevent the res. Gonna get a nice hack there onto Falcon, but unfortunately Narbles will be taken out. 3-man Chatter does land from Icy off the back of that hack, and Boise State has some life. Unfortunately, they're not able to find another elimination as Nico barely survives at low HP. Quidgeable very, very low on health. There's a 3-man EMP for Frost, and he'll immediately get gunned down. Deadeye will come out from Shinobu. Looking for an elimination. Boise State will line aside it. Quidgeable Diva Dom does pick up 2. And Boise State, unfortunately, not able to shut down the full push for Johnson Wales. There's a grab from Nico that will come out right on top of the point just to shut down Icy. Would have probably liked to see that body block the spawn so that Johnson and Wales could cap this one. As they did nano the Zarya there, Boise State starting to run in one at a time just to stall. They do have the defender a respawn advantage. So they will be able to, until they get clean wipes, be able to stop the payload from fully pushing. As Quidgeable will be taken out. Another Valkyrie is committed there by Sertle. Nerdy will go down, and Boise State now just left to 2 members. Frost and Pleb trying to hold on. Frost will be taken out, and Johnson and Wales, that 3rd point took them a little longer, but they'll 3-cap and put Boise State in, once again, a very tough spot.
Yeah, both tanks on the side of Johnson and Wales did very well on that final point, staying alive the entire time, nanoing the Zarya as she grabbed just for the maximum damage output, since BSU has just been giving her ult charge non-stop. It has definitely been a sight to behold as we look at this beautiful payload with its googly eyes.
All these googly eyes are in a much different location. No longer looks like Clippy, thankfully.
Clippy was
Looks like
beloved by all.
Tomato from Cars.
I'm sad because I will never not see that.
That's what it looks like. I apologize in advance.
Everyone squared away.
But we are seeing a new comp come out from this Boise State Orange team. We're going to see the double bubble with Hanzo Echo. No Mercy, so Echo will be on her own, but now we're seeing Pleb on the Ana and Nerdy on the Brig. We're also going to see Shinobu on the Ashe this time with Ropes staying on his Torbjorn from the final push when they were attacking.
Hello.
Interesting little change up here for both sides. And they're even going to hold much further back, whereas Boise State was right up against at the base of that train car.
The early hold for Boise State was unfortunately the lone positive defensively as Frost nearly gets shot off the spawn. Has to be healed up by Pleb. And Shinobu already proving to be a thorn in the Broncos' side as Icy will leap around the corner. Frost going to go up in the air. Without that Mercy, the Echo is going to have a very difficult time controlling the skies. The Flame Strike goes on to Boise State. Nico taking low. Quidgeable, at least for now, up early in grab charge. We'll see if Nico's able to pull ahead as he's already up to 21%. No real fighting. Now Narbles gets the first elimination with a great headshot there onto Lerman. Boise State fighting on top of the gas station. A nice res, though, and no punish. Nico does get taken out, though, and Boise State looks like they might be setting up themselves in a good spot as Falcon just swinging his hammer, but he can't get anywhere close to that Echo. Shinobu's taken out as well. The charge will be committed by Falcon. It'll be burned down, and Boise State now, this time the team that doesn't really have any issues, and they'll cap with 5.5 minutes going into point 2.
Yeah, sad thing to see for Johnson Wales as once again Robe was disconnected for that entire first point.
He's still disconnected.
He's just now getting back into it, spawning as McCree this time, not even getting value as Torbjorn. Really sad to see for the side of Johnson Wales. See if they'll be able to pull this back, not having that ult. But not a single ult on their side just yet, whereas Boise State does have that nano boost. They are getting right close to that replicate as well. Gonna see the Hail Mary anti come out, but we do watch as Narbles falls to Nico. Icy is then gonna get a kill on the Shinobu. We're gonna see Pleb, Nano, Quidgeable on the Zarya as well, seeing if he can get any damage, try to push him back the best he can, but as it expires, Sertle does get the res onto Shinobu as well. We're gonna see the grab come out from the side of Nico. Oh, and only one return kill for Frost on this Echo, who seems to just kind of be a thorn in the side of Johnson Wales at the moment.
It does have to duplicate up. Maybe he lands a duplicate onto Nico, and Boise State can, ooh, that's not a good. So they get a stagger onto Frost, but with Quidgeable having the grab soon, maybe you think you can duplicate onto Nico and you can have a pair of grabs. That Flame Strike rips through the Boise State team. Shinobu does get taken out with a nice headshot from Narbles. And now Boise State has their full ult combination, but Sertle will get another unpunished res onto Shinobu. Duplicate will actually go onto Reinhardt now as Frost will go charging in. There's a shatter that will miss. Frost now has his own shatter. He'll commit it, not able to find anything. Quidgeable headshot before he can get the grab down. A rally did come out from Nerdy. There were no offensive ults used from Johnson. Well, actually, never mind. Bob is out on the field. There's a grab that will come out from Nico at just a sliver of HP. And that will send Boise State retreating once again.
Yeah, this Boise State double bubble comp is not working with this Ana and Brig. You want to have a more high mobility to match this Winston. And the Echo is working. Narbles is doing the best he can on this Hanzo as well. Pleb even getting a couple kills, but they're constantly getting caught out. Nerdy on this Brig has not gotten the value that you want for a double bubble comp. As we see Icy then jump onto Sertle on this Mercy. Quidgeable now getting a kill on the Ana with a double then coming out from the Primal and Frost eliminating Falcon. Narbles gets the 5th on Shinobu. Almost a team wipe, but just barely able to stagger out those deaths.
That is the combo. Ooh, great job by Robe. Perfect flank, so he'll do exactly what Narbles did last time. Look at a flank and then immediately die. But he is able to slow down Nerdy's return to the team. But now we'll see what Boise State can do without the grab dragon on the line. Nano is going to go onto Icy. He'll jump right onto both supports. trying to burn down Lermans, but he's getting pocketed by Sertle. Icy's losing this battle, and quite quickly, as both teams will lose one member. Now Icy will go down. Frost, though, redeeming it, he'll get a double kill. Nico's already got another grab. He'll grab right on top of the payload. Deadeye's gonna come out from rope. Bang, bang, right in the head. And that's the third grab of the game for Nico.
Nico, star player right now for Johnson Wales, just farming these grabs. Boise State not respecting him whatsoever. Shinobu now swapping over to the Doom Fist. Something you see for trying to stall out or dive onto point, but right now just gonna probably destroy the back line of Boise State if he's able to land his combo consistently. Duplicates up as well.
Yeah, they have to be careful. There is walking into a shatter.
Is blocked, though, however, by Frost, who duplicated into the Reinhardt, whereas Nico then eliminates Pleb, and Falcon hits his Flame Strike onto Nerdy. Nico then takes out Narbles as well. Nico also takes out Frost's duplicate. Shinobu gets Icy in the back, and Rope finishes Frost, while Conjurable has to commit suicide for the reset. With only a minute remaining, things are not looking good for Boise State at all.
Frost will swap off of the Echo. He'll go over to the McCree. Boise State's only going to have
60 seconds.
the Dragon Arrow available, the Dragon Strike, and they're going to have to figure out if Quidjable can get this grab in time. Speaking of grabs, there's Nico. He'll get nanoed as well, and Boise State's immediately going to lose 3 members. They committed their own nano onto Frost, and that was probably not how Boise State drew it up.
Johnson Wales was prepared so well for that underneath play that they had the grab up again. And Boise State doesn't have an answer for the Zarya whatsoever. They can't swap to D.Va because Zarya is a great counter to her. They could try the Sigma or the Orisa, but don't know if that'll even make a difference. As now Johnson Wales is practically pushing into the spawn of Boise State. We see the Flame Strike from Falcon already take out Pleb, and Icy's going to have to pop the Primal Rage to stay alive. We're going to see an anti onto Quingible as he pops his own grab. But with the members of Boise State falling consistently, Nerdy is the only one that could get onto payload, and the grab's solo committed for her just to deny the payload. Icy at 1 HP gets taken out, and as practically the team wipe comes out, it's down to Quingible if he can stall with this Wrecking Ball. Already health falling pretty low. He's going to have to pop his shield just to try to stay alive. We do see Pleb on the Ana trying to keep him alive the best they can, buying as much time for his team. Shinobu then gets the kill onto Frost as he comes out of spawn. Johnson and Wales kept the Korg on this Boise State bottle, and they win the matchup 0-3.
Johnson and Wales definitely giving Boise State some good VOD review material. Broncos try to hold on to that final playoff spot, the orange squad that is, in the NECC. The blue squad right now has not really run into many issues. They're at the top of the leaderboard and have only dropped a single map, and it would be great to see both Bronco teams into the playoffs. Don't forget, the Idaho Army National Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State esports. The top plays that you see at the end of every game are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Boise State Orange 3-0 in our final matchup of the night here in the NECC by Johnson and Wales. And Brenner, your closing thoughts here for this night of Overwatch. Started with the Genji Collegiate World Championships, and now we moved on to a great win for the blue squad, and then the orange squad couldn't quite get it done. But your final thoughts?
I think Boise Orange team definitely has a lot to learn from that VOD. They can definitely take a lot of notes from both our Boise Blue team and what they did and failed in their own matches, and how they can adapt it in their own play style. Like you mentioned, if they are doing bad, they were supposed to go to their comfort picks, which we saw on the Statue of Liberty play. I think that worked out, but then they also need to learn how to counter it, because once Johnson Wales did it, they lost very quickly. So Boise State Orange has a lot of room to improve, and I'm glad to and hopeful to see that happen.
Now we will still have our ICCU player of the game as well as our top 5 plays. So we'll have to see who the ICCU player of the game is going to be. Do you have any nominations, Brenner? I mean, I think if you're going overall, you probably have to hand it to Nico, but let's just go Bronco-focused here for your ICCU player of the game, Brennan.
If we went Bronco-focused, I would probably have to say Icy. He did his best in that tank role, was able to capitalize on a lot. He didn't hit a lot of his shadows with the Rhine, but with that Monkey, he was able to disrupt his backline. He dove the supports a lot and was able to win it even once when they won that fight. So he was able to make a lot of game plays in that. Quinjable tried his best with the Diva and Zarya as well, but I still have to give it to Icy.
Let's see who our ICCU player of the game is going to be. I think you're right. I think Icy did a very fantastic job. I thought Narbles had a couple of bright moments as well. We will see who it is going to be. Of course, I think Nico played incredibly if you want to look at the overall, but it will go to Frost, who played mainly on that May, fittingly enough. Also had some good Sombra play as well. He is the player of the game, brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping their members achieve financial success. Frost is your ICCU player of the game. Unfortunately, Johnson Wales just a bit too strong, and that Sombra probably came out just a tad too late. It was sort of that comfort pick. Had a good EMP, but then we saw the weaknesses of Sombra where there's just not enough follow-up damage at times. But still, congratulations to Frost on his ICCU player of the game.
Yeah, Frost did very well with those Maywalls, especially during King's Row. He was able to isolate the enemy Reinhardt consistently. Yes, his team wasn't able to capitalize on it most of the time, but he landed very good blizzards and was able to just zone out the enemy team to buy his team that much more time that they needed and able to push that payload. So shouts out to Frost. He did very well.
Yeah, well, that will wrap things up here tonight. As we mentioned, Boise State Blue. Actually, no, here we're going to look at some. Never mind, we won't get a look at Frost highlights there. I'm sure those will be available online on the Boise State Esports Twitter page if you want to check them out. But that will close up tonight. We saw the blue team take home a 3-1 win over North Texas in play versus the orange team. Couldn't quite get it done with a 3-0 loss in the NECC. And, of course, we had our Collegiate All-Genji World Championships, which if you have not seen, you want to make sure you're subscribed and go check those out because that was absolutely phenomenal. But we will leave you with our top 5 plays. They're presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invite you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. They're the best team out there. Reach out on Twitch at iGuard Gaming, and we'll leave you with tonight's top 5 plays. In the NECC, both these teams battling for playoff spots. The orange team right on that last playoff spot there.
For a double bubble comp, as we see Icy then jump onto Sertle on this Mercy. Quinjable now getting a kill on the Ana with a double then coming out from the Primal and Frost eliminating Falcon. Nobrils gets the 5th on Shinobu. Almost a team wipe, but just barely able to stagger out those deaths.
Trying to sandwich the remaining members of Johnson and Wales. Shinobu is taken out. Rogue dropped low, but able to get healed back up to full. Pleb will now drop that Ant Matrix as Boise State has an angle. Falcon and Lerman's both taken out. This should allow Boise State to start buying some of that time back. I don't know if they'll come close to the 4.5 minutes, but they're at least looking good so far, halfway through point 2.
Close behind, and Quinjable's self-destruct, very close. We're going to see the Amplification Matrix come out, but then the Maywall's going to come and immediately block it out. We're going to see Icy able to land a charge onto Lemons, and then Narbles hits the Deadeye onto Falcon. It seems this is Boise State's fight as they get a team wipe in the second team fight.
Online, which should open things up for Boise State as they burn down Shinobu as well. Niku trying to get a kill. He'll get burned from behind by Quinjable and Narbles. Boise State eats a double shatter to the face, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep Falcon or Johnson and Wales from stopping Boise State on the second point. And the Broncos have given themselves a chance here to force us into overtime. Herman's taken incredibly low, but Boise State will already commit the Immortality Field. Sertle goes down without committing his. Now we got to battle the Maywalls. Frost will be forced to use that Cryo Freeze to heal back up to full. Quinjable's going to take down Shinobu. We see Lerman's incredibly low. Nice freeze onto Falcon. And Boise State's going to win this first fight with ease and send the remaining members of Johnson Wales